retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. No pain for them to see. Breathe just like a wind, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Tighten up, y'all. Cleats clacking in the tunnel, about to be a fight. Blue crew is running through, dang, our team is tight. T-Rex looking hungry, must be time to eat. Let's kick it off and bring this rowdy crowd to their feet and tighten up, tighten up. Hey Nashville, we're Tennessee, tough, get tough. You can find us everywhere, all across the nation. Rise to the occasion. Tennessee, it's time to tighten up.
Welcome into What's Shaking Titans. I'm your host, Gary Bailey, and then joining me right over here, we got your co-host, Mr. Matthew Massey, aka Mr. Anonymous, and right next to him, guys, we have none other than Titans superfan Blueface, aka Matthew Maddox there. So, guys, what's shaking, everybody? Welcome to What's Shaking Titans. I'm your host, Gary Bailey, and then joining me right over here, we got your co-host, Matthew Massey, aka Andy Fitzpatrick, and right beside him, we got the one, the only, Mr. Blueface, Matthew Maddox there, guys. How's it going today?
Good, man. Just been watching some college football today. Just watched the Volunteers get that W over A&M, so, you know, VFL, you know, Vol for life, man. We with it for life. So congratulations to the Volunteers, man. Good start to some Tennessee wins, hopefully this weekend.
Definitely. How's your day going so far, Mr. Massey?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just been having a good old day. Obviously, super ready for this podcast and excited. You know, just been living out here, living in the country living. How about you, Gary? How's your day, man?
Man, I've had an awesome day. But guys, before we actually officially kick this episode off, Titans Blueface here, he has a huge announcement. Of course, you just seen the reveal video, guys. So, Blueface, you want to talk about it for a second, brother?
Yeah, man. So appreciate the whole introduction for that, man. I'm super excited about this. I know you guys are. It's gonna bring a lot of cool stuff to the show, man. So we are officially an affiliate partner with Fanatics. So a lot of you probably know what Fanatics is. They have jerseys, hats, scarves, socks, underwear. I mean, you name it. Posters, clocks, lava lamps, anything you can think of, they have it. They have NHL, they have NFL, they have NBA, soccer. I mean, almost any team you can think of, college, whatever it may be. So it's gonna be super cool. We're gonna be, featuring a bunch of different Titans items this season. A lot of those items will be reduced and discounted. That's part of our affiliate sponsorship with them. So it's just gonna be super cool, man. I can't wait to dive into it, man, and bring everybody more. But yeah, man. So if y'all haven't checked out Fanatics, go over there and check it out. And tomorrow during our show, I'll actually having a link to some items that we were referred to show to you guys, and those are all at discounted prices. So you guys will be able to check those out tomorrow and get those at those discounted prices.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And then I want to go to our comments here. Guys, we got a couple comments already rolling in. It's pretty early for these comments, so that's what's up, guys. Thank you for commenting. Definitely keep them comments rolling. So we got Titan Man here. He says, Tighten up. And then we got Titans Fox. Huge shout out to you, Titans Fox. And he said, what's up, Gary Breezy? He said, nice hat. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then Titan Man says, thanks for the shout out. Titans Fox also says, sweet, sounds good. So guys, real quick, just a couple of huge announcements before we start rolling this show out fully. So on Friday, October 27th at 6 p.m. Central Time, What's Shaking Titans will be officially moved to Fridays. So we only have a couple more Saturdays here before we officially move the podcast to Friday. So definitely remember to put that day on your calendars, because from there on out, we'll be on Fridays at 6 p.m. And then, guys, if you don't have a way of watching the game tomorrow, definitely tune in to What's Shaking Titans. We'll be doing our live game, post-game coverage. So we're actually bringing that back from last year. I used to do live game, post-game coverage throughout all the Titans games. So we're going to bring that back. And then it's going to be during that video where we'll throw out the link to our new affiliate sponsor, Fanatics. So definitely take the time to check us out. And then with all that being said, guys, it's time to introduce none other than our special guest. What's shaking, everybody? I want to take the time to welcome our special guest in, none other than Mr. Spider Titan. Spider Titan, man, it's awesome to have you on the show. Appreciate you taking the time to join us here on What's Shaking Titans. So, before we really start unpacking some things here, let's talk about you for a second. So, what made you actually want to become Spider Titan?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me on your show, man. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you guys for what you do for the Titans, man. I think you guys' show idea is awesome. Like I said, it's different, a little bit different than other podcasts that I've been on. So, like I said, congratulations for that. And like I said, much success in the future. But, what I want to be is just being a Titans fan, man. Like I said, moving all the way from here, from California, and moving to Tennessee. And as soon as I graduated high school a long time ago, I knew I wanted to be closer to the team. And eventually, after going to so many games, you see all the other super fans dressed up and everything. It's like, that's what you want to be, ultimately. You want to be something that stands out. You want to be a part of this team somehow, some way. And I figured out my way to be Spider Titan. And, I just put my favorite superhero and my favorite football team together. I thought it was pretty cool, working at Walmart for so many years. And I've seen a whole bunch of Spider-Man stuff. And I just always thought it'd be cool to, put those two together, and I wore a mask one time when I went to a game. I wore a Spider-Man mask, and I got so much good feedback off of it. Everybody's calling me Spider-Man after that, and I just put the two together, put the name together, Spider Titan. Thought it sounded so cool, and I just, made it happen. I bought the outfit, and I of course, I bought a few of the Titans clothing and everything like that, put it all together, and then eventually, Spider Titan was born.
Man,
yeah, and that's great,
awesome.
man. You're doing it. Yeah, that's great. You're absolutely doing it, brother. Congratulations to all your success as well, too. I've been watching you. Of course, we got to become good friends and things like that last season. So, like I said, man, great job. And so your next question I wanted to ask you is, what is your favorite Titans moment that you got to experience live?
Live, well, so many of them, but I mean, it's, honestly, I can only think of actually two. Yeah, it had to be two of them. I think it was Corey Davis. What do you call it? Yeah, I think it was Corey Davis. One time he cut a pass in the end zone for the game winner. I think we were playing the Chargers at the time, and I think he caught a game winner at the very end in overtime, and I thought that was pretty amazing. But other than that, I would have to obviously say putting it down on Tom Brady the last time he ever visited Nissan Stadium, because we put a whooping on him, and it felt really great because going into the game, it was just like, I just had a feeling that, like, you know what, we maybe got their number, but at the same time, you're playing Tom Brady, and for us to shut those fans down the way they did, and us to put him in his place, to show them that he is human, and that probably had to be one of the probably the second greatest moment I've ever seen live. But I mean, actually, as I'm thinking about it now, the very first great moment that I've ever had was when we blocked that kick that one time against the Chiefs. And I think I forgot who it was, and I think his name was Kalu. I think that's who it was. Because I got it from my stands. I was going into that game. I was thinking about we're gonna probably kicking the bucket, and I was like, I just enjoyed the game for what it was. We came close, and then I was like, you know what, this game's over. I started walking away. I walked downstairs, and I was going towards heading out the gate, and all of a sudden I've seen everybody stop, and then all of a sudden I seen everybody looking at the TV. We were looking at what was going on, and we ended up blocking that kick, man. And then all of a sudden, I think we went into overtime when we got that last little minute touchdown that Tannehill threw. We beat the Chiefs. That was probably one of the greatest moments I ever actually had live, because I was already thinking we were going to lose, and I was just walking away devastated. But I knew, I wasn't too disappointed going in thinking we were going to lose. But at the same time, for us to turn out to be a win, and then the whole crowd was basically full of Chiefs fans, and my buddy was a Chiefs fan that was there, and I ended up going to that game by myself, but to experience that and have that joy of, just walking out of there with a win when you thought you were going to lose, it was probably one of the greatest moments ever. And I had this really big guy, run up to me. He was this huge. He ran up to me so like slow-mo and just gave me the biggest hug and lifted me up. It was just crazy. It was crazy just to see this guy running towards me. But the excitement on everybody's faces, and just that good feeling that we ended up beating, one of the best teams there is. It was ridiculous.
That's awesome.
That is very awesome. And I actually like that question. So Massey, I want to ask you the same question, bro. When did you actually become a Titan fan? What was your best experience? I messed that up. What was your best experience live at a Titans game?
I definitely agree. Like Spider Titan says, every experience that I've ever went to, I absolutely love. Win, lose, or draw. It's just as amazing, an amazing thing to be a part of. My favorite one is probably when we beat the Chiefs 27-3. That whole game, but I believe we went into halftime 24-0, and I was there at that game with my brother, and we just couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable that we were winning against the Chiefs, and then 24-0, and then the way we ended that game. So I would say that whole game was a great experience and just super fun to be a part of. One of those unbelievable situations where you're like pinching yourself to see if you're actually awake right now, So that was definitely one of the best ones for me. Gary, what about you, brother? What's your favorite one?
Oh man, so this might reveal the age a little bit, but I remember when the Tennessee Titans first came to Nashville, and Nissan, well, at the time I believe it was LG Field, opened up, and we went to one of the very first games there. And of course I was young, real young, so my best experience was actually before the game started. I got to meet all the cheerleaders, and of course as a young kid, ain't nothing like meeting the cheerleaders of your favorite football team. And I used to carry that picture around everywhere I went, so that was one of the best memorable moments from a game that I've had.
These are all my girlfriends. Look.
Yeah. Hey, look at this. So, yeah, and then I'd have to say, man, there is a preseason game that me and my wife, and this is before we got married, we attended, and we had Marcus Mariota, and of course, I was really big on Marcus Mariota, and I was so nervous because I was like, all I want to come and see is Mariota on the field. I had no clue if they were going to put him in the preseason, but they actually put him in. So, and he went out there and balled out. So, man, it was really awesome to kind of get to see that. So let me ask you this, Spider Titan. When did you actually figure out that the Tennessee Titans was your team and you became a solid fan of the Titans?
Oh, just as soon as they moved. My grandmother was living here, and the rest of my family was too. But she's seen a bunch of merchandise when she was working at Sam's Club. She's seen a bunch of merchandise come into the store, and she was like, Tennessee's got this football team now, and they're called the Titans. What do you call it? They changed from the Oilers to the Titans, and me growing up, there's only like I said, three teams that were growing up in my family. What do you call it, that you had to choose from? And like I said, this is being in the 90s, growing up in the early 90s, it was either the Redskins, the Dolphins, or the Cowboys. And this is the 90s, of course. So it's like, you're just getting into football. My first love was basketball. So I followed basketball more when I first was growing up. But to actually start watching football, I started watching the Cowboys, because you're watching Emmitt Smith, you're watching Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. It's like, it was the 90s, so that's what you're basically going to be watching. It's like for basketball, for me, it was going watching Michael Jordan, watching Shaquille O'Neal, watching, stuff like that, But I watched the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys they were on a rebuilding years, and I was like, I really wasn't too into it. And then, I was playing the game and everything, but I really wasn't into too much of watching football. But as soon as I seen that, my grandmother told me that they got the Titans, they actually became the Titans whenever the Houston changed their name from moving to the state of Tennessee. And I was just like, I seen the logo. My grandma showed me the logo, and she told me the name, and I was like, I knew that's what I wanted. I was like, man, that was so cool, because I was waiting for something for Tennessee, because at the moment, at that time, Tennessee didn't have any team, literally, besides college. They didn't have a basketball team like they do now. They don't have a football team. They didn't have anything, So now for the very first team to be there, which was the football, was the Houston, and then they turned it to be the Titans. And I just knew I fell in love instantly. I knew that's who I knew wanted to be, because I didn't want to carry on somebody else or like somebody else because my family liked them. I didn't get to pick. Basically I did get to pick, but at the same time it's like it's not really a choice between those three teams. Of course you're gonna go with the Cowboys, the most popular. But for me to jump from the the Cowboys to the Titans, and it was from day one. Like I just instantly fell in love, and I knew from that moment on that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be so much closer to the team so I can eventually go to the games one day, be around my family, and just share it all and just soak it all up. Because trying to watch those games in California was so hard, because I'm sitting there watching the little scoreboard on the corner, because they don't play the Titans games unless you're doing prime time or you're playing West Coast teams. So I didn't get to watch very many games or anything like that. So I knew I wanted that full on experience to move there and to go back to my family, to where they all lived, and to be able to soak up everything the Titans had to offer. So I just knew. So once I seen that, and that was the Super Bowl year too, that they actually, for first period, they came to the Titans, they actually went to the Super Bowl that year. So that made me even more better. And that made me want to go there even more, even though they lost. But at the same time, it's like, the first year they were the Titans, they went to the Super Bowl. That was pretty cool. So just been waiting for that, that dream to happen again eventually, and hopefully it will one year. But ever since I've been here, man, it's been nothing but a dream. Like I said, I've become a season ticket member like I've always wanted to. I became a super fan, and I shared this with my family, and it's just, like I said, it's one of the greatest things in my life to be a Titans fan.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you represent this team amazingly, bro. And like I said, we had the privilege to become friends last season during the season. So, like I said, kudos to you through everything. It's really great to be able to hear the backstory on that as well, and pretty cool because it's similar. My dad was also a Cowboys fan before the Titans moved here, and that was kind of what started me into football, was watching him, get so into the game, sitting there on the couch. And at the time, I was probably 7, 8, something like that, in that age area. And then I remember whenever they moved to Tennessee, I remember sitting on the couch with Dad watching the game, and good old school Titans. Something happened where it made my dad really mad, and I remember him taking his hat off and throwing it at the TV, and it just seemed from right then and there, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, he's really into this. Let me see what this is about. And then from then on, man, I've taken it on headstrong, 100%. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, man, Spider Titan, that's really awesome, brother. And Gary, what about you, man? What's your
So,
reason for being a Titans fan?
man, well, I wasn't given much of an option. No, I'm playing. So, kind of growing up, before the Titans moved to Tennessee, of course, they were in Tennessee, I think, like 3 years before we officially became the Titans and opened up at the new stadium. But before that, my mom was a really big Dolphins fan. My dad, he liked watching football, but he never kind of backed any particular team. So just to kind of see my mom's passion and how much she loved football, she was, like I said, a huge Dolphins fan up until Tennessee got the Titans. And when that happened, she swapped to the Titans, and just kind of watching that first season, it was magical, man. It was magical for the fans. It was magical for the team. It's rare that a first year team like that, can excel into the Super Bowl. So it was really cool to see that. And then, just kind of watching the Super Bowl and seeing the grit by Steve McNair and Eddie George and, Blaine Bishop, to me, it was no question. I was like, this is my team. This is a team that's going to fight no matter what the odds are. They're going to fight to the end. So that's kind of what set me off to be, a Titans fan. I will say this though, like if you're ever at my mom's house and you are not a Titans fan, do not root against them because she has kicked somebody out of our house in the middle of a storm and locked them out because they were rooting for the other team. So she really did too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
I believe it, man. We don't mess around here in Tennessee. We're about our Titans.
All right, sitting there cooking food for everybody. Like, oh, you don't get no plate. No.
Right. You get to sit in the corner while everybody else eats. No.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Gary. Oh, go ahead, Gary.
no, you
Sorry.
take it away, brother.
Okay, so Spider Time, brother. I wanted to ask you, and feel free to talk about the experience leading up to this as well. But how was it, man? How did it actually feel, and what was it like being the fan of the year for the Tennessee Titans?
And I mean, ever since me finding out just about the little banners that they used to have in the stadiums of the fans, and it was like a little Hall of Fan banners that we used to have, and that's where it all started. Honestly, that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be up on the rafters. I wanted people to see my big picture whenever they walk by in the stadium and everything. And eventually they didn't do that anymore. So then I found out late the very first year, which was 2020. I found out really late about the Fan of the Year contest, and I tried my best. That's the same year that I came out, and I try to do what I could at the time, because people are only so limited to what they could do, and in the world at the moment, besides go to work or just basically stay home. But like I said, I created my own way of sticking out, which was connecting to the community and doing something for kids, and just standing out there and just handing out items and just get myself out there and get a little bit noticed. And I did. And like I said, I started with the game day videos, which I made mostly comical more than anything. I got a little football stuff here and there, but I do a little bit of comedy in there. So that's for entertainment. And then eventually I found out about the contest, and I guess I got the contest late. So of course, Brandon Galloway, who was the very first Titans fan of the year, who also won NFL fan of the year, which was pretty cool because I think the first year of the contest the Titans win that, so that's pretty cool. So but applause to him. But he ended up winning. I ended up finding more about the contest after that year, and then I found out after joining the Elite Super Fans, I ended up finding out more about the contest, actually when it started and when it ended and what they're looking for. And I tried my best. Like I said, I increased the things that I did, my availability to the community to stick out more, to take on more events, take on birthdays, and keep on doing the game day videos that I did. And I started doing more things. And then I didn't get the second year, so I went to Stephanie Perkins. Like I said, she's our second Titans fan of the year. She's awesome, and then like I said, they both of those previous winners, they stuck out in certain ways that I didn't. So I just had to find my own way to connect with people. And eventually, as my fandom grew, through the Titans Nation, and everybody found out more about me and what I did, and we call it, word of mouth of what I do for kids and what I do for the team and everything. It got more spread out, so that was pretty cool. So I guess that's what I needed, and plus, I didn't take it as anything bad. I was like, you know what? Maybe I haven't earned it yet. Maybe I haven't got it yet. Yeah, maybe a good super fan. Maybe I've been doing this and doing that, but I'm not out there yet enough to where I feel like I've earned it. And then everybody can see that what I do. Up close and personal. So, of course, the third year, and I was like, you know what? If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. Whatever. I was like, it's not really about that. It's about because I was connecting with so many different people across the United States and other countries, and just like through the teams that like fans that like other teams, and it didn't matter. It was about what I was doing, and I found out, I found that out more, and like so I got to experience more. I got to put myself out there more. I was part of more events that I've ever been involved in. I had more birthdays that I was ever involved in. I started doing even better videos than I had before, and I was just doing everything and anything I can. I created events that I had, yearly for back to school and for Halloween, and I just got more out there, and eventually I ended up earning that, and I was like, it was a complete surprise. They told us to come to the Oilers alumni game where we got to meet all the Oiler fans, and they said we were just going to shoot a video and for Halloween and stuff like that for the super fans. So that's what I was going in there thinking, and then they pulled me behind behind Mike Keith, in front of the television or in front of the video camera, and then him just announcing my name, and just him in general announcing my name. It's like it's like that guy. It's like that guy announcing your name in front of everybody, and then in front of the whole the club level fans and the alumni and just everybody else. It's just like a complete surprise. Totally overwhelmed. Like I said, I knew in my heart that I could have win it, but at the same time, it's like you never know who's going to win it. But I mean, for me to get that and then have all the support I did, and like I said, everything that came afterwards, representing you guys and represent the team and the time. That more than important than anything, I wanted to know is that the teams know that I do. That's all I wanted, more than anything in the world. Not the piece of paper, not the patch, not the jersey. All I want is for the Titans organization, Amy, and everybody else established to that team, every player. I want them to know what I do for this team and what I represent for them and what I contribute. And it's just like all the sacrifice, all the hard work, and just all the dedication that I put into this. That's all I wanted them to see. And they got to see that. Now they know, and every time I go to an event, or every time somebody executive-wise sees me, or the team reps, the season reps, or anybody. Like I said, eventually I'll get to meet Amy Adams, which is going to be a awesome, like I said, awesome experience to actually meet her. But to be the 12th man, it's just everything. The whole acknowledgement is all I wanted. I just wanted them to see how much I love this team and how much I love all the fans and how much I want to do for everybody, and to be that person that anybody can depend on. It's just like, since I have this position, and it's like, it's changed my life dramatically. And I've seen my life a whole different way than I've ever seen before, because it's so much more meaningful than it was last year and the year before that and the year before that, before I came to Spider Titan. All the people that I touched, all the people that, I've just done things for and just to communicate with, just a small little conversation or just a small little picture that makes somebody happy or makes some kid happy or just make their experience that much better because they met me. And it's just, it's mind blowing. And all I can do is just keep on going and keep on going and keep on like spreading my wings as much as I can, to touch as much as I can of the NFL as I can, and every fan and anything of this organization, to where eventually the main mission is to get to the Hall of Fans in Canton. That's where I really want to be. I want that patch. I want that jersey. I want that acknowledgement to be like, I was one of the greatest. To ever be a super fan, ever to even like football. That's where I want to be, and I know it's going to take years to get there, and all I can do is just keep on doing what I'm doing and just, accelerate myself more and put myself more out there till eventually maybe 20-something years from now, I'm going to be there, So, I mean, it's a great experience. Super Bowl was cool, even though the Titans weren't there, but I took my buddy who's an Eagles fan, I took him, like I said, I went and rooted for the Eagles, of course, because, you're not going to root for the Chiefs. But I mean, it was a great experience, man. Like I said, to me, Arizona was like probably the worst city you can have a Super Bowl in, because how terrible the city was, actually, besides, going down maybe 20 miles from there, from Scottsdale. That's like the party zone. They put us in like a zone where like this it's dead. Literally, there's nothing there. But the whole experience, the acknowledgement, getting to go to the NFL honors, getting to see all those superstars, live and in person, it's just, it's totally different. Like I said, you totally feel like you're kind of an outcast, but at the same time, it's like, what, we're one of you guys today, so that kind of felt good. Having conversations with heroes that I've watched and that I've seen on TV before, John Randall, Mike Mariucci, Jerry Jones, it's just all those guys. It's like the opportunity to be around these people and you watch them grow up. And then, of course, Roger Goodell, I've met him quite a few times. That's always cool, and like I said, nobody likes him, but, he's our boss. So nobody likes the boss, right? So unless you're really kudos with him. But it was all around a great experience. Like I said, I got the ring, I got the jacket, I got the jersey, I got the recognition, and my name's out there. It's cemented forever, and just, that's all you could ask for. And all I can do is just keep on wanting more and to, just keep on being more,
Yeah, definitely. And, from somebody who serves in children's ministry and, like for me personally, like to me, to give time back to children is like something that I take a lot of joy in, that I'm allowed that opportunity and privilege to help bring up the next generation, so from somebody who does that, on almost a weekly basis, man, I just want to thank you for what you do, man. It's really huge. So I definitely know that you'll get to where you're wanting to go, in Campton one year. You just stay at it, man. Keep your head up and you're going to get there. But with that being said, I have kind of a two-part question to ask you. What do you think the Tennessee Titans' biggest strengths and weakness are so far this season, and where would you rank them amongst the NFL right now?
And be nice about
it. We're kind of like a jigsaw puzzle right now, man. This is I don't know.
That's a great one.
I don't know, man. Strengths, honestly, for us, it's got to be most of the defensive line. That's whenever you look at a game, of course, you always got to think defense first because we got to stop them from scoring points. For us to score points, we have to be on our game. But at the same time, we have to stop them first. Because that's where all the game starts. But the defensive line, that's got to be the number one thing that I thought was really strong going into this year because I think we got so many weapons on the defensive line. It's just they can only do so much, because then you got the linebackers behind us. We got quite a couple of new guys, a couple of feisty guys, but it's and then it goes to the secondary. You see how many problems we're having in the secondary. We were looking like a strong secondary at first before the season started. Then Fulton started being Fulton, and then it's just everybody else is just trying to find their way. So I already know right off the back next year, we're going to be looking for a cornerback. First round guaranteed to me. Like I said, that's a must because you see how much that hurts the team, how much it hurts us every week going into weeks. Hopefully we don't get another Caleb Farley. Stay away from guys that are hurt because Caleb Farley, I haven't even seen him on the field yet. I don't even know if he's still even on the team. But but it had to be the offensive. It had to be the defensive line. And you said the weakest part. Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, the weakest part. Was this. Before we signed Hopkins, you got to think it was the wide receivers. Because before we signed Hopkins, we're like, okay, as soon as Hopkins got signed, it was such a weight lifted off our shoulders. Okay, now we got him and Burks. Okay, we're good. Anybody else that comes after that is just going to do their thing, like Westbrook Akina. He's always been very dependable. Nobody really loves him. They don't put him out there that much, but man, he's a big guy. He's a big guy that makes big catches in big moments. So he's always come through for us. So I applaud him very much for him and all his hard work for just sticking in there and doing his thing. And that to me that had to be it because you got to think the running backs look great. You got to think Henry and Tajay Sharp was awesome. I knew they were going to pick Westbrook. Westbrook, right? The backup. That was his name, right? Westbrook.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. But anyways, our third running back. I knew they were going to pick him over.
Oh, you mean Spears?
Heineke or whatever his name is. Or Haskins. I'm sorry, Haskins. I knew they were going to pick him over Haskins, but
Chestnut. That's who you're talking about.
Chestnut. That's right. I'm sorry. Where I'm thinking. I got my mom and all other things. But Chestnut. Chestnut. He was pretty. I knew he was going to get selected expected, to be our third running back. Of course, he got hurt, but I knew Haskins wasn't gonna, he wasn't digging it because he really wasn't a power guy. He wasn't really a big guy. He's just a little guy that you fill in, and I knew that was gonna happen. Of course, Tannehill, Tannehill was gonna get the starting position over Willis and Willis, but. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, hopefully in the future we're going to see something more like that. I think those future running backs or the quarterbacks that are in the 1 and 2 and 3 position are going to be our future, eventually. So we're going to see who prospers out of that, But I mean, all around, I think we have a good quarterback crew. Hopefully they can learn from Tannehill a little bit more than just what Tannehill is doing off and on, So. Hopefully they can learn and correct the mistakes that they're seeing on the field that come from him. And wide receivers, they just got to learn from Hopkins. That's all they can do. That's going to help our future guys, our younger guys. All they can do is learn from that man and take what they can in, and hopefully that will perfect their game. Tight end is like to me it's like they're coming up. You got to think Chig is always good, but it's just he hasn't found his rhythm yet. I'm really happy for what's his name, Wiley. Is that his name?
Yeah, Josh Wiley.
The rookie. I'm glad he's doing really good because they were throwing him some couple of balls in the first couple of games and he couldn't even get the catch, and then he finally got that touchdown. So hopefully that makes him feel good because he's a big guy. He's 6'7". It's like you have a guy at 6'7" playing tight end for you, man. You should be able to throw him balls all day. So hopefully he'll learn some things from Chig and he can actually learn a couple more pointers from Hopkins just on the receiving end, so hopefully that will make him better in the future because that'd be a really big plus for us if he got, if he increased his game to where he can elevate to really be a really good player for us, because he's got the size. Hopefully he has the mental status to progress himself that way. The offensive line, you kind of knew. It was going to be a little bit better than last year, but we're just like kind of like I said, we're like a jigsaw puzzle. We're trying to put pieces together. Like, okay, we're going to put you here, we're going to put you here, we're going to put this guy here. Oh, we just drafted this guy. Yeah, you're really good at tackle, but we're going to put you to be a guard. And it's like they're trying to figure themselves out. So they're trying to fit them where they can. You can see improvement from last year, but to me, that also has to do with coaching. So they're going to have to, get through about a half the season where they're going to be able to gel and be able to communicate together on the offensive line, team. So hopefully we can figure that out. So far, we're staying healthy. I'm pretty shocked about that because the last 2 seasons, of course, we were
talk about it, bro,
killing us with injuries. So. All in all, like I said, the kicker got better. Thank God for that. We were trying to deal with the kicker. We're like, it seems like, oh my God. And then, last minute, we hired, what's his name? So I was really happy about that, so, but, other than that, Folk, that's his name, Folk. So I'm really happy that we hired Folk. So we got a couple of good pieces. It's just like, we're playing Titan football. To me, all I think is as long as we play Titan football to where we win games we're not supposed to do, but we lose games we're supposed to win, but then we win some of those sometimes. As long as we can stay in the middle of that, we're okay because our division is not that great. As long as we play Titan football, we'll be okay. We'll be at the to the end of it to the end of the year. Instead of losing 7 straight like we did at the end of last year. So as long as we can fight all the way to the end, I'm pretty sure we can get this division and we can get back in the playoffs and maybe we can see what we can do, and hopefully by then we come together as a team and we actually found our identity and found the way we want to play football, and maybe we can get past the first round this year and see where we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into week 6, where would you rank this Titans team?
Going into week 6, which is what, this week?
Yes.
I don't know. I can only probably just say division-wise. I couldn't even tell you out of the whole AFC. I don't know, man, because like I said, we look great sometimes. Sometimes we just look terrible.
Well, we can do that. Where would you rank us in our division?
Our division, gotta be second. I know we're not in second, but all around, from what I see, you got to think the Texans they're just throwing up numbers. They're just getting lucky by winning games. The Colts, they're doing good. I knew as soon as they put Minshew in last week, they're still a good team because Minshew beat us before, okay, and he's seen us quite a few times before playing with the Jags. So I thought that was going to be, like I said, a leverage for us to take, hopefully beat the Colts. But Minshew was having fun. He was doing his thing. I think backups, when they get the opportunities to go into the game, they're extra excited. They're extra to prove themselves, and they got a little bit more juice, going into the game. But it's just, Colts, like I said, you can tell Richardson's a really good quarterback. I mean, he's a lot better than I thought he was going to be. Coming from Florida, me being a Kentucky fan, coming from Florida, it's just, I didn't think he was going to do that great because the team didn't do that great. But you never know how a player is going to prosper as they get to the NFL and how they're going to mature and how they're going to play ball. So he's doing really well. I thought he's doing a lot better than I thought he was going to be. Same thing with C.J. Stroud. He's playing really well. He's finally coming together. I knew he was going to be good. That's the quarterback I want. I want to see C.J. Stroud because you could see it. You could see this guy automatically went in there week one. He's just sitting there commanding the troops, and he's getting better weekly. I mean, it's crazy because, like I said, for a quarterback to do that, just like Richard said, for a quarterback to do that is very rare. So you got to think we got stuck with Willis. I'm a Kentucky fan, or Levis. I'm sorry, Levis. As soon as we got stuck with him, I'm a Kentucky fan. Hey, that's pretty cool because that's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had. But at the same time, you already see where he's at. He's in the learning curve. He got his ankle tweaked a little bit. During preseason, he didn't really even play. But you see where he's at. So he's going to be the guy that's going to have to sit. He's going to have to learn. So he's just one of those quarterbacks that we picked up that wasn't automatically ready for the NFL like these other guys that were playing in our division. So of course, the Jags are the Jags. They're the most complete team. They stayed together more than anybody out of all four teams in our division. I think they still have an elite quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. They have a great running back for with ATN, and of course they have the wide receivers. They have the defense to go with it. The hungry, raw defense that they play. They play really good. They're always hungry all the time. They're always out to prove themselves that they're better than everybody else in the division. They have a great fan base. Their fan base is like 110% behind them, and always have been. So I've got to put them right up there right now because of the games that they're winning, and that was a big win for them last week, going into London and taking down the Bills. That was a really big win. So they deserve that number one spot in our division so far. But at the same time, for us, we should be number two. We should have two more wins that we have on our record. But that's just the way it goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you just let some slip away. So, but overall, team wise, like I said, as soon as we get ourselves together, like I said, we're definitely ranked number two.
Yeah, I like it too, man. Some great takes there by you, Spider Titan. So let me ask you this. What do you think the Titans need to do, to address some of these issues that we've been seeing on the field? You kind of referred to earlier, about Ryan Tannehill and his, I would say ups and downs, more like inconsistency. What do you think that Tannehill can do to kind of, turn his inconsistency around? And this offense, we've seen 2 games so far where they've utilized Henry for more than 20 carries, and both of those games we squeaked out a win. So do you think that might have something to do with it, or what's your thoughts on that?
Man, honestly, watching the games, it's like you can tell how the game goes on. It's like we kind of like lose our game plan. It's like these guys had a game plan to first start out with. We look good. Then all of a sudden, as the game slips away or something happens during the games where it creates a turnover, or we go a couple of 3 and outs, or it's just something doesn't go our way. It seems like we switch it up. Like, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. Like they took, they stopped running Henry after a while. Like, okay, we're starting to fall behind. We're behind like a touchdown or something. Like, we're not going to run Henry anymore. We're going to start passing the ball. Like, you just got to stick to the game. You got to play it. No matter what, you got to play. You got to play pass. You got to play run. Okay, you got to mix both of these in. And then, to me, if you see Henry's on a roll, he's getting 5 yards plus a carry. You got to keep giving this guy the ball. Okay, you got to keep giving the ball. First down, second down, third down. It's like you got to kind of mix it up, but you know how third down goes. He comes off the field, Jose Shark goes in. I don't mind that because that's what okay, we're going to need the guy to either catch the ball or this or that. Okay, but we got to stick to running the ball with him. We have to start with it. All starts with him because if he can't go on, as you see, if he can't go, nobody else is going to do anything. Literally, nobody else is going to do that because that doesn't open up the pass game. That doesn't open up the play action. It's just, and then we're not running, and when we have to run, and we think we're going to run, and guess what? We just we give the ball to Henry, and everybody knows the ball is going to Henry. We call it crappy play. So we just gotta stick to the way the game's going. We gotta play our game, and then just keep on fading away from our own game plan. And whatever game plan we have, it's either good or it's not good. I can't tell what the offensive coordinator is thinking sometimes. I mean, there's a couple of times, or a couple of the last couple of home games, I called some of the plays. I called that wildcat Henry through the touchdown. I called that. I knew it was coming. We haven't seen it in a while. Either he's going to run it or he's going to pass it. That's a perfect play to call, especially if you're on the goal line at 1 yard. Perfect. You don't need nothing fancy. You don't need nothing crazy. That's all you need right there. So we got to stick to some mental things. And for me, for the players, it's all mental. I mean, honestly, it all starts up here. Because, like I said, you can't let your job get in the way. You can't let your money get in the way, which is they don't have this kind of conversation because they're all making money and they're all at a job. Okay, it's not just like, oh, hey guys, we're gonna go there next week. We gotta play the team that plays against the river. We gotta stick together. We're playing for free. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're gonna have a different mentality to go in there and try to win and beat these guys than these guys sitting here going across the way. It's like, okay, well they're getting paid, we're getting paid, and no matter what, we can always move on to next week. So they got to think about it like there is no next week. At a job, whenever you get your whole store, you got your whole place looking great. Wherever, no matter what you work, your shop, your place, your store, whatever you're looking, you want to always look good whenever like company's coming in. You don't ever want to sit here and act like okay, company's not coming in, or we're not going to play today, so we're going to act like crap and this and that. We can half-ass it and anything like that. You don't want to act like that, but a lot of them players do. So they can get hyped up all they want to, but at the same time, it's like not everybody's going to be on the same mental state. So our leaders have definitely got to step up. I mean, these guys that that's why I like younger guys. I like guys that are young, they come in fresh out of college because they all know how to play. They're all hungry. They're all willing to, earn a job. They all want to earn their paycheck. They're not sitting here settled in with like a lot of these veterans are, and they got like big contracts so they don't have to worry about anything. They're not going anywhere. These guys, they all need to play like young guys. So, I mean, I think for Tajay Sharp to show out the way he's doing, he's doing really good, and hopefully that rubs off on a lot of guys. I think that's been rubbing up on Henry a lot, is to have this young guy, this young guy that's competition, behind you, sitting here is proving himself, and at the same time, that's kind of driving Henry to be explosive as he is, because he's really explosive when you get him going. He's been a lot more explosive when he hits the hole than before. He just sits there, looks for the hole, and then he goes. This guy just straight up goes the ball and he just goes. I like that. So it's to me, it's a mental thing. They just got to get themselves mentally prepared. They got to have different conversations when it comes to being in team meetings, and just like, that's where Rabel comes in. He's got to sit there and just knock these guys on the head, let them know what's going on. I mean, for him to point out Fulton, I think it was last week or the week before, he was talking about benching Fulton. He even put that in front of media. I mean, that's awesome. He needs to do that. People need to point it out for their mistakes and for their, for take responsibility for their job, for them either doing it or not doing it. So it's just, it's got to come with time. Eventually these guys, like I said, when they get inside the season, more and more, they're going to find themselves. But hopefully it's not too little too late whenever they actually find themselves and we're like, we're winning games, but at the same time the division is out of reach. So, that's just all to them. And all we can do is just try to, come up with these podcasts. Hopefully they listen, keep on showing up for games, and they see everybody's, behind them 100%, and just, we're all Titans. We're all on the same team, and we're all just trying to help them boost themselves up so they can win games. And we can only do so much to do that. So we just got to play our part also.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, great takes. Again, those are some great takes right there.
Thanks, man.
So, like I said, I do agree with you. And my opinion on that is I think we're just too predictable, really. Our team is just too predictable. It's the run, pass, which, with Henry being behind the center, behind Tannehill, that you would think that is the game plan. But I think we're too predictable and too inconsistent, where we need to be more unpredictable consistently, in my opinion. But like I said, I agree with your takes on that as well, as far as needing to use Henry more often, things like that. It's situational football. They just got to do better at that. So moving forward, man, what would be your 3 keys to a Titans victory in London this week?
Let's see. Have fun, for one, because you're in London. I'm pretty sure these guys have been having a ball. I'm pretty sure they're enjoying overseas and everything, but don't have too much fun. But just have fun, because that's what it's all about. It's all about having fun, first of all. You want to be able to have fun when you're playing a sport or anything like that. You want to have fun. If you're not having fun, most of the time you're not either winning or you just don't have your all into it. So you want to have fun. enjoy the moment, because it doesn't happen that often. I think this is our second time going over to London. since they've been going to London. And I think the first time was what we played the Chargers, wasn't it? Something like that with Dolphins or something.
Yeah, it
One
was
of
the
the two teams.
Chargers.
Jags or something. Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, so I mean, just gotta have fun. First of all, be ready to play. I mean, because the Ravens are gonna be ready to play. I think this is one of our biggest foes of ever. Of becoming the Titans. They used to be in our division when they were the Central Division a long time ago. So we know these guys quiet. I mean, we almost hate them, and they almost hate us as much as the Jaguars Titans rivalry. Like literally, I didn't know how bad Jaguars fans hate us until one of my videos went viral on Twitter, and it was ridiculous. It was nothing but Jaguars fans just giving me heck, the whole time. But then you know what? They were blowing me up. They were giving me views. I didn't care. But and then when the Ravens, I watched the little documentary with the Ravens on their Super Bowl. I mean, just I think it was a Super Bowl run, or it was something to do with the Titans, and didn't realize how much we hated them and they hated us. I mean, I was like, wow, I always thought it was this great rivalry, but it's just that rivalry is so legendary. Like when we went to the we went 13-3. The year we had Kerry Collins, we were the number 1 seed. Our very first year, we played the Ravens at home. And then they ended up beating us. I remember Bo Scaife ended up fumbling the ball, like right before he got to the touchdown area, fumbled the ball, and that was basically the game. And I remember so many other things. The logo cover. Us coloring their logo, they cover our logo, and it's just, there's so much hatred there. So you gotta just try to keep a level head when it comes to playing these guys. Just be ready to play because they're gonna come with everything they got. And of course, number one for me is just our third take. Besides all of that, is just stop Lamar Jackson. We got to stop Lamar. If he can't pass the ball, if he can't run the ball, guess what? They really can't do anything because they got a lot of injuries going on, way more than we do right now, and it's hitting them hard. But at the same time, they don't always find a way to win because it's such a good team. They're really well coached. And you got to think, we're playing in London. It's basically a neutral area. Yes, it's a home game for us specifically, but, that's a neutral area. You don't know who's going to be able to show up. You don't know who's going to get off that plane, who's not going to get off the plane, so who's looking to go home, who's just willing to, stick their neck out there to get a win, so it's gonna be a crazy game. I don't expect anything to be perfect. I expect a lot of sloppiness, out of both teams, from them just, the jet lag and then just being in a neutral area and just like the whole experience and being in London in general, so to me it's whoever like is mentally ready, more mentally ready team is going to be able to win that game. It's going to be crazy, but I'm ready to watch it tomorrow. As soon as I get out of work, race home, and by the time I get out of work, it's going to be on the TV. So there ain't no prepping, there ain't no sitting, there ain't no dwelling, there ain't nothing. It's like basically wake up and boom, it's on. So we got to be ready as long as they got to be ready. So it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be fun.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely, man. Great takes there. And just a little shout out here. We'll be doing a live game, post-game coverage of the Baltimore Ravens versus Tennessee Titans London matchup here on What's Shaking Titans. So definitely tune in to that if you don't have a way of watching the game. And then to close us out here, Spider Titan, let's let all the fans know where they can find you at, what you have going on, and, all that good stuff, brother.
Well, I have quite a few things coming up. I was invited to, usually I do a Halloween event every year where I give out toys and Titan stuff and, pictures and just a big old meet and greet. This year I'm actually going to be included. I'm actually going to have a little small segment of that, but it's going to be at the Buffalo Wild Wings here in Clarksville. They invited me to their little event where they're having, like carving pumpkins and they're going to give out things, and it's for a charity. So they asked me to be invited to that, and of course, it's a trunk or treat and everything like that included. So they invited me. So I'm going to be having a few of my little things along with that, whatever else they have going on. But I'm going to get that information out here soon on Facebook. I'll create they have their little post already, but I'm going to create my own little post with it and everything and all the information to set out there. And that's going to be put out on different groups and pages. And so that way everybody can attend that. And that's going to be on the 20th of October. So really looking excited for that. Something different because I always do the same area where I usually go, which is the outdoor flea market. Like I said, I usually have the toys and just everything out there. So this is actually going to be, I think, indoors or not outdoors. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a mix. So, anyways, I'm going to include my event with that. So that way, we can do something different. It's always nice to do something different. So the same old thing. So once I get more information on that, I will get that out. A couple of birthdays coming up and a couple other visits that I have coming. So excited for that also. I just got done doing a back to school reading event for Montgomery Central. So one of my daughter's teachers seen that, and they want to invite me to their little little Halloween thing they're going to have at the end of the year to come to the school for the kids and hang out and just have I guess they're going to have a little thing there. So I'll just pop up and do whatever they want me to do, if not just mingle and do my thing like I usually do. And I also got recommended for those teachers for that school. They also have a church that said they wanted me to be a part of. So more likely that would probably be a trunk or treat event, more than likely to be a part of and help out and give out stuff. And so because I heard their fellow church friends are Titans fans, so that's the main reason why they invited me. So that's pretty cool. So get more out there that way. And like I said, of course, the birthdays are coming. I have a few other visits to do, but other than that, you guys can always find me on Spider Titan on any platform. Just look me up, # Spider Titan. You can Google Spider Titan, find it that way. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X, which is also known as Twitter. Of course, TikTok. You guys can find me on anything. Just look up Spider Titan. It'll automatically put me up. And really appreciate you guys. And if you guys know any Spider-Man fans or any Titans fans that I can get a hold of, or that you want to be able to share, their experience with me and vice versa, to me for them some packages, or just say happy birthday, or just a little friendly little video visit, just anything like that. Whatever I can do to bring a smile to somebody's face, or just give them good spirits about our Titans, doing good this year. Just make sure to hit me up. And like I said, I can't thank you guys enough for having me on your show. Thank you guys so much for having this show. It's awesome. I like to shake up the Titans. We got to shake them up ourselves. That's what we got to do. So we got to shake up the world with our words. So. Thank you guys so much for putting me out there. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. You guys are awesome. Make sure you guys are watching the show. Make sure to tell your friends about, Shaking Titans or Shaking Talking Titans. Make sure to follow this and just share it. Just whatever you got to do to get this, podcast out there, because these guys are awesome.
Thank you, man. We definitely appreciate that for real.
You guys are awesome, man. You guys keep it up, man. You guys are doing awesome. Tighten up.
Definitely, and tighten up, man. Appreciate you taking the time to come on and do these segments with us. We're really excited. We were excited about it for the past 2 or 3 weeks, man. It was just awesome. So yeah, definitely thank you for taking the time, man. And also thank you for all that you do in the community, man. Definitely appreciate that. But guys, we're gonna let Spider Titan get on out of here. So with that being said, definitely if you're watching us live right now on YouTube, take the time to hit that subscribe button, turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like, that will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. And then if you're watching us live on Facebook, huge shout out to all the Facebook OGs over there. Definitely share us out. The more you share us out, the more people get to see us. With all that being said, guys, I'm Gary Bailey, this is Matthew Massey, and none other than Spider Titan. We'll catch y'all later.
Tighten up!
Tighten up!
Tighten up!
Alright guys, so I want to give a huge shout out there to none other than Spider Titan for taking the time to join What's Shaking Titans, guys. Want to take a quick second here to thank everybody in the comments. We got Noah Cersei who says, "What's up, man?" Or "What's up, guys?" So what's up to Noah, and then what's up to Bryce from the Bryce and Haley show, as well as Titan Man and Titan Fox. We definitely want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in and commenting. Real quick, guys, before we get to rolling on with the show, definitely feel free to answer some of these questions we have here. So one of the questions we popped up in the chat is, what is your 3 keys for the Titans victory tomorrow? Definitely answer that in the comments, and guys, we'll pull up your comment and we'll talk about it later on in the show. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and bring in our co-host here. So welcome back to the screen, guys. None other than Andy Fitzpatrick, a.k.a. Mr. Matthew Massey. And then right next to him, we got Aaron Rodgers, a.k.a. none other than Matthew Maddox himself. So, guys, what is good? Are y'all ready to rock this show out?
Always. Stay ready, ain't got to get ready, baby.
That's right. All right, guys, so with that being said, it's time to launch our first segment. All right, this is what's shaking around the NFL. So, I'm going to start out with this, guys. I want to ask both of y'all this question. I'm going to shoot it to Mr. Massey first. Massey, is Brock Purdy, sorry, I just jocked that name up, but is he being really convincing as an NFL quarterback? Do you think that he is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL to date?
Well, Gary, I'll tell you, he's pretty convincing, if you know what I mean. He is pretty convincing. Yeah, man. He's what a standout. What a performance for him to be able to be consistent with it as well. I mean, kudos to the Niners. 7th round pick, the last pick in the draft, guys. This is what we're talking about here. I mean, that's a heck of a performance for him to be able to do consistently. So, kudos to Brock Purdy, man. And like I said, very Purdy convincing quarterback from him. Maddox, what do you think about him?
Oh, dude. I mean, I was a huge fan of him last year, so I mean, I love what he's doing. I mean, nobody's beat him yet. Not even the GOAT Tom Brady. He won his game against them last year. So 10-0, man. The guy's got 9 touchdowns this year, no interceptions. He's got like 1,200 yards. He leads the league, in QBR. So dude, he's having a great season. Of course, he's got a lot of weapons and a great supporting cast around him. So let's see where he goes with the rest of the season. But yeah, dude, I'm pretty convinced.
Yeah, this is a quarterback who, since he started in the NFL, through every game that he started and finished, is now 10-0, completely undefeated. This is pretty unheard of. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in the NFL up until this point. So, hats off to Brock Purdy, man, and I'm really excited to see what he has in store for this whole season, moving forward.
Absolutely. So, guys, let's go ahead and run into our next segment here. Are the teams running out of time, or do we have certain teams that are running out of time? Other than the Titans, what other teams do we think, if there's a switch that needs to be made, what other teams do we see needing to make that switch for a playoff push?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I think there's a few teams that, actually come to mind. I mean, whether that switch be, somebody that's already on the team, or it be somebody in free agency, or whatever it is. One name that comes to mind for me is the Jets. Man, Jets are like a quarterback away. I'm sure that they're gonna hype up the Aaron Rodgers return or whatever whenever that happens. But yeah, dude, I think the Jets maybe the Vikings. I know they do have the injury with Justin Jefferson, but they're still a losing team. So there could be a definite switch there. Like you said, the Titans. That's an obvious no-brainer. I think we all think that there's a few parts on the field where there could be some guys moved around that we could get better. But yeah, dude, I'm thinking maybe like Jets or Vikings for me. I think maybe the Giants as well. I'm not sure. I think Tyrod Taylor's their backup. I'm not sure exactly. I think that's the Giants' backup, but I'm not sure if maybe he can, get a little bit more production than Daniel Jones can this season. But I think Giants or maybe Jets or the Vikings for me would probably be my top 3 at least. To make an actual drastic change in their season. Maybe if you're a Cowboys fan, you're tired of seeing Dak Prescott. What do you think, Gary? Got that cowboy hat on over there.
Man, there are definitely a few teams in the NFL who's probably, a change or a few position, trades away from being a playoff contender. I agree. I think the Jets is definitely a quarterback trade away. Something we kind of mentioned on the 615 podcast, a few days ago, that I was co-hosting with Lee Hills. One of the trades I proposed was to the Jets, trading Ryan Tannehill to the Jets there. Because, I mean, in my opinion, Titans are definitely more than just 1 or 2 pieces away from getting the to the playoffs. So I would also want to. I would say maybe if you look at this really good, I think Green Bay, man. Green Bay is definitely a team that is a few changes away, maybe one change away from being a possible playoff contender this year. You
I
know,
like that.
yeah, I'd say that they're right there. They're knocking on the door. Jordan Love, he's definitely showing some potential every now and then. So I think that with the right pieces there, he can definitely take Green Bay to the playoffs. I don't know if they get far in the playoffs, but that's just my opinion. What's your thoughts on that, Massey?
Yeah, yeah, you make a great point. Just one second, I want to hop over to the Facebook comments. My mom is in the comments, and Cringe. She says, "Hi, everyone." So, hey, mom,
Shout out to
appreciate you being
mom.
in the comments. Love you. So yeah, I definitely got to agree. Daniel Jones is definitely not performing. You know, for as a starting quarterback. Jets. That's a tough situation for the Jets guys. With Aaron Rodgers going down, they were a quarterback away, and then they also brought in other pieces for Aaron Rodgers, and then obviously the tragedy of him being injured and things like that. So, I would probably throw the Jets in the mix as well. Um, I mean, what do the Browns have? I know Deshaun Watson, but like honestly, they're not necessarily playing as a team that can make that switch this soon. But I could probably see that happening in the future for them. Which also that's just the Browns' reputation, really. So yeah, guys,
Hey,
Gary.
one I forgot though, man. One that I forgot to add in there actually, man, would be the Bears. Uh, they don't have a bad offense. I don't think. I think they have good pieces, and I think that their defense is okay. I mean, at times they've shown flashes this year where they can be good. So not as far as player personnel for them, but maybe some coaching staff changes or stuff in the management for the Bears, and that'll help them prolong their season a little bit if they want to. I'm not sure what their plans are, but yeah, that's just what I wanted to add into that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I definitely agree with you there. I think the Bears is definitely if not one, maybe two pieces away from being able to make it into the playoffs. They did have a pretty convincing win. Was it against the Bengals, right?
Commanders.
Commanders, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. So it was against the Commanders, and the Commanders is a team I feel like kind of falls in right in the middle of the league this year. So yeah, they're definitely knocking on that door. So that's going to be a team to keep your eyes on, this year and years to come for sure. So Maddox, man, let me ask you this, bro. Winless wins or undefeated loss, who do you think will catch a win first? And who do you think? Do you actually? Let me rephrase this. Which do you believe will see a winless win team get a win first, or do you think we'll see one of the undefeated teams lose first?
Oh man,
Good question.
I'm gonna have to go. Oof. I have some Panther friends, so all due respect to them, I think we'll see the Eagles or the 49ers lose first, just based off of some of these slated games coming up. I know I picked against the 49ers last week. That was stupid, so my apologies for that. But no, I think maybe the Eagles. They play the Jets. I think there's a
Yeah.
chance that the
Yeah.
Eagles lose that game this week, or at least get pushed to their limit because the Jets gave the Chiefs a run for their money. So I'm excited about that game, man. I think that could be an upset game coming into this week. But yeah, I mean I'm gonna have to go with a lossless or an undefeated team taking a loss first. On this one, I think that the strength of schedule kind of plays out for that. What do you think, Matt?
That's a great take right there, brother. And really, the only, as far as I know, the only non-winning team that is left is the Panthers.
Yeah,
So
there
That's
is.
correct because the
you know,
Bears
it,
got the
it, it would
win.
be hard to assume that the Panthers are going to beat the Dolphins this week. You know what I mean? So just probability altogether, what makes the most sense is the Eagles losing. Really, they're playing the Jets. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're playing the Jets. So, like Maddox said, for them to lose that game, that would just absolutely be crazy. And then the 49ers, I mean, what a roll they're on, and they're playing. Excuse me, they're playing the Browns next. So I definitely see them beating that team. I don't see Carolina getting a win against the Dolphins, so I definitely have to go. I would definitely have to go with the Eagles on that one as well. What about you, Gary?
Oh, I mean, if we're talking just about this week, you know, I don't think we see either of these two things happen this week. I think it's going to be a little later on in the season. And I would probably say we'll see a winless team win before we see a undefeated team lose. But if I was forced to just pick from this week alone, I think like you said, you know, the biggest chance would come from the Eagles losing to the Jets there. I just don't see the Panthers beating the Dolphins. Dolphins, man, hats off to them. What a dynamic offense they have this season. I mean,
Dolphins are killing it, man.
yeah.
Look at the stats, man. Tua Tagovailoa leading the league in passing yards this as far as you know this week 6 coming into week 6. You got Tyreek Hill leading the league in reception yards. I don't want to slaughter his name, but I think it's a chain. He's leading or second in the league in rushing yards. So, dude, that's just a high-powered offense. Just going into week 6, man, dude. I mean, that's absolutely insane. And I seen a rumor somewhere. It was on Twitter or something like that. I'm not sure. And I seen it in two different posts. Something about Rob Gronkowski and returning to football. Dude, I think that would be like a crazy fit for him. But I did see something in one of the comments about him going to the Dolphins. So, dude, if he returns and goes to the Dolphins, I mean, wow, what an offense that would be, man.
Yeah, that would be very crazy, man.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick, man. I couldn't even imagine that, dude. They already put up, 70 without him? Like,
Yeah.
just no, sir. There's got to be a petition to stop that from happening or something.
This should be against the law and football.
Get him out of there.
Get him
Dad
out.
is a wizard.
Make him older than 34.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
License.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into our pick'ems for this week. So here you go, guys. This is our pick'ems here. A3 represents all three of us picked this team to win. M is Massey, G is Gary, and B is Blueface there. So let's start from the top here. Denver versus KC. We all picked Kansas City to win that game. Then you go on to Baltimore versus the Tennessee Titans. We all three picked the Tennessee Titans to win here. You know, to kind of talk about this one for a second, I do believe that this is going to be one of them 50-50 games here. You know, we'll kind of get into the stats of what happens if the Titans win and what happens if the Titans lose a little bit later, you know, on this game. But let's continue moving here. We got Washington versus Atlanta. Massey picked the Washington Commanders. Me and Blueface picked Atlanta here. And then we're going to move on. We got Minnesota versus Chicago. Massey picked Minnesota. Me and Blueface picked Chicago. Then we got Seattle Seahawks versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Me and Massey picked the Seahawks, and Blue picked the Cincinnati Bengals here. Then to move on to the 49ers versus Cleveland. This game is no questions. None need to be asked here. We all three picked the 49ers over the Cleveland Browns. Then we move to the very next game, which is Carolina versus Miami. We got all three beating the Panthers here. We got Miami beating the Panthers here. And then Detroit versus Tampa Bay. Blueface and me picked Detroit to win this game. Massey here picked Tampa Bay. So you want to talk about that one for a second, Massey?
Yeah, I mean, what's his name over there?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he's been over there killing it. So yeah, I mean, I just feel better about the Bucks winning that one, to be honest with you. So, you know, Blue, what do you think about that?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not a Baker fan, man. I haven't been a Baker fan. I think that this Detroit Lions defense is, young, and they're absolutely and you're doing a great job, man, playing this season. The whole offense, the whole team, coaching, everything. So, uh, yeah, dude, Lions over Bucks all the way.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, man, my bad. I was just saying, I think that Detroit has a younger and a stronger and a better defense at this point than Tampa Bay does. Like I was saying, I've never been a real fan of Baker Mayfield. Not knocking the guy, but just never has been on my watch list. I know that he's led some great drives, game-winning drives and stuff like that. But I think that overall that this Detroit offense and that this defense is going to get the best of him for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. I could definitely agree. And again, guys, just want to take the time to apologize for the technical difficulties we just had. But as always, we got it fixed. So let's continue in our pick'ems here. So our next game is Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I personally went with the Colts over the Jaguars. I think that even with Anthony Richardson out, Gardner Minshew here, he showed that he can kind of pick up this offense, that there's no kind of struggles learning the offense, that, he's able to go out and win you games. I feel like he can go out and put up points on this Jaguars team. I think the Jaguars, even though they had a good win over against the Bills, I think that, when it comes down to the final wire, I think the Colts will get this win. But, of course, Blueface here and Massey definitely went with the Jags over Indy. And then our next game, we got New Orleans Saints versus the Houston Texans. So me and Massey went with the Saints, and Blueface went with the Houston Texans. So, Blueface, you want to talk about this game for a second?
Yeah, man, I just liked what I've seen from this Houston Texans offense and their defense, man. There's some hard-hitting guys on that team that look like they really want to play, that look like they really want to get after the ball on defense. So it's been awesome, watching them. Even as a Titans fan, man, I'll put my hands up. Shoot me if you want, but they're making strides to be, one of the better teams in our division. So them at home, I just feel like C.J. Stroud and that offense will have a good day against the Saints. I know they have a good defense in New Orleans, but we'll see what happens, man. I think that home field advantage pulled towards them. Massey, how do you feel about that New Orleans and Houston matchup, man? I know you picked New Orleans as well with Gary, so how you feeling on that one, man?
yeah, I'm going with Derek Carr on that one simply because Derek Carr has the experience and CJ Stroud is a rookie. Obviously, we've seen the way the Texans have been playing, and they've been playing really good football. Um, So yeah, I just feel better with Derek Carr, and that obviously as a Titans fan that hurts me to say because of what happened in Week 1, but we ain't got to, we're not gonna dwell on the past. But no, yeah, I just feel more confident in the Saints offense, and like I said, with Derek Carr running that team, I feel like they got a better chance of winning versus the Texans. C.J. Stroud, man, sky's the limits for that guy, but I'm definitely taking the Saints on that one.
Yeah, just to kind of cap on this, I think this is going to be a really close game. Of course, I went with the Saints here. I think they have a really high-powered defense. Their defensive front is an amazing front, and then you look at their secondary. They have a really good secondary. Hats off to the Texans, though. I mean, because they shocked almost everybody this year. C.J. Stroud, man, what a year he's having. Really wish the Titans would have got him in the draft. Unfortunately, we let that news get out, and the Texans beat us to him. So, it's a little unfortunate there. But, hats off to the man. He's out there performing. But I definitely have to lean with the Saints here. So, guys, let's get back into our pick'ems here. So we got New England versus Las Vegas. Massey went with the Patriots over the Raiders, and then me and Blueface went with the Raiders here. Then we got Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams, or versus the Los Angeles Rams. Blueface and me went with the Arizona Cardinals, and then Massey went with the Rams. And we got the Philadelphia Eagles. So we got Eagles versus Jets. Me and Massey went with the Eagles, and Blueface went with the Jets. You want to kind of talk about that one for a second, bro?
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, when we were talking about, who we think loses or gets their first win, I feel like the Jets have a legitimate chance to beat Philadelphia at home this week. They gave Kansas City a, good run for their money, so if I'm pulling for an upset, man, I'm pulling for that one, and I think it could happen this week.
Definitely, it's definitely in the realm of possibilities there, guys.
I'm all about an underdog story.
Yeah, talk about it.
Titan fan my whole life.
Talk about it.
Yeah, no, I did. That's all I feel. That's all I had to say.
That's what I was saying.
That's
All right,
exactly
guys.
what-
And so our next game here, we got the New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills. We all three went with the Buffalo Bills. I think this is a game that is no question. There is literally no competition here between the Giants and the Bills. I think the Bills will run away with this one. And then we, for our final game is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Chargers. Blueface and myself went with the Cowboys, and Massey went with the Chargers. So, Massey, do you want to kind of explain why you went with the Chargers here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I go back to the quarterback play, Justin Herbert, man. What a season. I mean, what a career he's had in the NFL, really. Not so much this season because of their record and things like that. They still have some pieces to the puzzle to put together there. But I just overall feel like the Chargers team is a better team to win this game and take over. Gary, you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, man, definitely. Thank you for asking. I think the Cowboys, hands down, is the better team out of these two. You're talking about quarterback play. Let's talk about defense play because, that saying that we hear a lot here in Tennessee is defense will win you a championship. I definitely think that this defense is a championship level caliber defense. If Dak Prescott's ever puts it together here on offense, I think that this Cowboys team is going to be one for the books, especially in recent years. I don't think it's anything close to what they used to have when they ran their dynasty. But I think that, it's definitely a better Cowboys team than what we've seen in years past. Blueface, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I agree with exactly what you said, man. Defense. I think this is just going to be way too much for that, Chargers offensive line to hold up. We've seen Micah Parsons, over and over and over again, dude. Like I've said it on the show before, that's one of my favorite players to watch play defense because he's just so electric. He's involved in every play, and he can just make a big play at any moment. So, yeah, dude, I'm taking Dallas on this one. I don't think that the Chargers have necessarily, like you said, the puzzle put together to handle this. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with Dallas on this, I'm gonna stick with Dallas on this one. Plus, my mom's a Dallas fan, so.
That always makes a difference on that
Hey,
one.
can't start no in-house wars, no family rivalries. Keep my head down.
Never go against the mother, man. She always knows best.
I ain't gonna say that. But
He's like, I ain't going that far.
I'll let her have that. That's okay.
All right, guys. So with all that being said, I'm going to pull it up one more time. This is our Week 6 pick'em from What's Shaking Titans. Definitely let us know if you have any other opinions in the comments. We definitely love to hear from you guys. The more you comment on here, the more it fires us up, as a group. So definitely let us know your thoughts and in the comments below. And then, guys, let's get into our Week 6 power rankings. So this week is going to be a little different here, guys. We do not have a graphic to throw up for you because Massey and Maddox actually did the power rankings, and then I'm going to react live to those power rankings. So definitely, stay tuned. This is going to be pretty interesting. So, guys, without further ado, let's get into our power ranking.
Sure, man. Yeah, for sure, man. So jumping into the power rankings. Oh yeah, so jumping into the power rankings, we kind of left the top 4 teams alone from last week. We left the 49ers, the Eagles, and then the Lions and the Chiefs coming in at the top 4. Because of their big win last week, we actually moved the Dolphins up to number 5. We got the Bills coming in at number 6. We kind of went back and forth on this one, but we put the Buccaneers at number 7. So Gary, how do you feel about the Bucks at number 7?
Man, let me guess, that was a Massey decision there, huh?
It was a Matt decision with 2 T's in it. No, we went back and forth on it, and we put Seattle at 8 to kind of go further into this. And, we were kind of, a toss-up, and I was like, do you really feel like, the Bucks are better than Seattle at this point in the season? And, it took, maybe about 5-10 minutes, to convince me. But eventually we put the Bucks up at 7 and just dropped Seattle down to 8, left them where they were last week.
So
that's kind of where we went with it from there.
My only pushback to this is I think I'd have to put the Cowboys at 7 and then maybe the Buccaneers at 8. I don't see a world where
put the Cowboys that high after that big of a loss. I know it's the 49ers, but you're still the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you look at you also gotta compare the level of play that we're getting from the 49ers this year. They're playing like we've never seen before.
The Bucks would have the same record as the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I just I think personally, if you get the Bucks versus the Cowboys is definitely going to run away with that game, just with their defense alone.
You're out of your mind.
I don't think so.
Cowboys could run away against the Bucks after the Arizona Cardinals beat the Cowboys.
Yes, I think the Cowboys defense, especially after.
Hey Gary, Cowboys or Saints?
Cowboys or Saints?
Yeah, who would win?
I think that would be a very, very close game because you're looking at 2 really good defense.
No, but you have to pick one.
Well, I'm going to, but I got to work my way into it. So, you got the Saints who have a really, really stellar defense, and then you got the Cowboys who also has a really good defense. But in the battle of defense, I think in that aspect, I think the Saints defense will kind of outmatch the Cowboys just barely. Then you look at their offense. I think I trust Derek Carr a little bit more right now than I would trust Dak Prescott. So maybe I would lean towards the Saints getting that win over the Cowboys there.
So my next question on that would be, if you trust Derek Carr over Dak, you trust Dak over
Baker Mayfield. I do. I do.
Hey,
I've seen Baker Mayfield.
My only point in that question was, didn't the Bucks beat the Saints?
Well, I mean, you got a good point there, but
talk about it.
But yeah, guys, just in my personal opinion, I think that there's certain games that Baker Mayfield is known to lay some eggs in. And I know he's come out this year with a lot to prove to the NFL, and to some of his old fans from Chicago, for them kind of throwing him out like they did, like he's was a piece of trash. But he's definitely out here showing out. So hats off to Baker Mayfield. But I think in this one, I really have to kind of stick with my guns and say I definitely have to put the Cowboys above them. But this was y'all's power ranking, so I mean, I could see it either way here. So kudos to y'all for putting
Well,
the Buccaneers at 7.
yeah, dude,
you
not
make some
far
great
off.
points.
Not far off, we put the Saints at 10, right below the Jaguars, and had the Cowboys at 11. So not that far off. I think it was more so of just the Cowboys losing to Arizona, and then the way that they lost to the 49ers, and the way that Dak Prescott looked. I mean, I think all that compiled together, I think that there's more faith in the Buccaneers as a whole right now than there is this Cowboys franchise.
Yeah, but let me ask y'all this: if the Buccaneers faced off against the 49ers, do you believe they would win?
No.
No,
No
it's
way.
gonna be another Cowboys game, and so that's what I'm saying. Like these three teams, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, and the Saints. In my opinion, they're almost, you almost have to tie all three of them because they're equally, the same type of teams. Little differences here and there, but I'd say the big difference is Tampa Bay's offense is a little more potent than the other two, but the other two has a better defense, in my opinion. So, one has to compensate for one thing and the other compensates for the other here. But yeah, in my opinion, these are definitely three teams that have to be tied for one, the same position because they're basically on the same page level. So let's continue in with the power rankings here, guys.
Yeah, man. So at number 12 comes the Steelers. Number 13 is the Colts this week. 14
I can see that.
Falcons. 15 Ravens. 16 Texans. And 17 Commanders. Massey, you want to kind of go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Maddox, man, me and you put our brains together and did this power ranking. It's what made the most sense at the time. Especially going into week six of the season. This is exactly where me and Maddox agreed that we feel like these teams need to be in these places. And I'm sorry I don't have it pulled up right in front of me, so it's hard for me to like pinpoint names and things like that. So. Yeah, Max, if you want to go ahead and keep going.
So we put, like I said, Commanders at 17. Then we went Jets at 18, Browns at 19, Titans came in at 20. Gary, Titans at 20. How do you feel?
Oh my gosh.
You look up when you talk.
Oh my gosh. I think y'all missed that one by a long shot there. By a long shot.
You think we ranked them too low, huh?
No, I think y'all ranked them way too high. Way too high. And guys, I know I'm going to get fired, some flashback in the comments, but I really do not care at this point. You cannot tell me with the way our defense is performing, the way Ryan Tannehill is not going through his progressions and throwing these dumb-headed interceptions while he has three other wide receivers wide open, that this is a 20th ranked team in the NFL. I don't know. At best, out of 32. At best, they are 26. At best, and that's just my honest opinion here. Because guys,
he's ranked 30th in the league.
Do what?
He's ranked 30th.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, guys, like at best, this is a 26th ranked team, and I'm not trying to be mean. I love the Titans to death, man. That they're my team. Like I love the Titans. I bleed two-tone blue. But when I'm doing a power ranking, I got to be honest here. And this is not a 20th ranked team. Who do you have, kind of coming in underneath the Titans here?
Dude, below the Titans, we put Raiders, Bengals, Packers, Rams, Chargers coming at 25.
So honestly, if you ask me, I'm definitely trading spots with Green Bay and the Titans, and I'll be honest here. I have more faith in a Jordan Love led offense than I do a Ryan Tannehill led offense, and it's not so much on Ryan Tannehill's fault as it is the coaching. What's the one thing we've seen out of the Titans so far this year? It's inconsistent play calling. The two games that we won, they actually kept Derrick Henry on the field for 20 carries. And each game, we won those games. But then the other three games that we lost, Henry had less than 20 carries. They had him on the field less than that. Well, Tannehill is a quarterback that needs that Henry effect in the game in order to, successfully go out and put up points in the red zone. And even then, you have to look. I don't feel 100% confident that Tannehill will be able to go and put up points in the red zone. So I'm definitely moving Green Bay to 20 and then dropping Titans to wherever Green Bay was.
But wait. What about all those teams in between the Titans and Green Bay?
Which were the Raiders and who else?
Bengals.
The Raiders and Bengals.
Raiders, Bengals, and then the Rams are at 24 and the Chargers are at 25. So the Packers were at 23. The Titans were at 20.
So, I would sit here and say that you definitely missed out by putting the Bengals above Green Bay. So I'd have the Bengals above Green Bay or below Green Bay. I would have the Titans below.
With the way Cincinnati played last week, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just though the power rankings isn't just based off of a 1 week performance, so it's based off of the last 5 performances.
So that's the only reason I jumped Cincinnati so high is because the way that their offense is starting to come together. This is the point in the season where we see a lot of these offenses, defenses, teams in general start to come together and click.
Yeah, but
that's the only reason I say that.
So with that being said, though, like you said, this is the point where we start seeing things click. Okay, so if last week is the week that we start seeing things click, then what the heck went wrong with the Titans? Because obviously something's not clicking, and if you look off the last week performance by Cincinnati, I would have to rank that performance above the Titans.
I mean, yeah, but
So I think this one is one of those like 50-50 things. I definitely don't think I would have had the Titans that high. I know we dropped them from last week because last week they were, I think, 16th or something like that. So they definitely fell, but I think just the way the coaching, players can't outplay the coaching. That's just facts, And as long as we keep these dumbheaded play calls, and play schemes, coming into these games where we're like, okay, well, we're not going to utilize Henry for more than 13 carries a game, we're going to continue to lose. And, as long as we have Tannehill, force feeding the ball to D-Hop constantly, we're going to lose, which I know we'll kind of get into more of that a little bit later, so I'm not going to kind of dig too deep in that. But let's continue with the power rankings here.
Yeah, man. So 27 through 32, we got Patriots at 27.
Okay.
Put the Bears at 28, Broncos at 29, Vikings at 30, Giants at 31, and then the Panthers at 32.
Yeah, man. I actually can get on board with those. I think those are good spots to put them in the power ranking, for sure. Then, guys, I want to go to our comments here. We got Will O'Neill in the comments. He said, "Good evening, my dudes." So what's up, Will? Definitely, guys. Right now in the comments, let us know where you would rank the Tennessee Titans in your personal power rankings as we continue on with the show, and then also let us know, guys, what are your 3 keys to victory for the Titans tomorrow. And we'll pull that up here in a little bit. But guys, let's continue moving on here. So Titans win, or Titans lose. I'm sorry, Titans lose. This is our game recap. So we're gonna get into our game recap here. I'm botching this up right now. So let's go ahead and get into our game recap here. All right, guys, so this is our Week 5 Fanatics game recap here. So with that being said, guys, we're going to break this down. We're going to break down the loss here to the Colts, and then we're also going to get into the comments. So definitely feel free to comment as we go on. So one of the big things that I want to kind of talk about is, of course, the Titans lose 16-23 to the Colts. It was a lackluster day for the Tennessee Titans on defense. So we did have Titan Man comment earlier in the comments. He said cut Fulton. So yeah, you know, a lot of people have been saying that around the national media here lately. So yeah, you know, I think it was definitely a lackluster day for Christian Fulton, but not just him, but this defensive front. They did not come to play at all. So Massey, what is your thoughts on how this Titans defense performed? You know, last week against the Colts.
Yeah, the defense, man. We got to do better. You know, this is what the Titans team actually is living by, other than Derrick Henry, is our defense. You know, we have really good key players on our defense. Jeffrey Simmons is a beast. I know my heart, just like everybody else, has probably dropped to the floor whenever, you know, we seen that injury. What we thought was going to be an injury for Jeffrey Simmons.
Talk about
Luckily,
it.
he came back into the game. You know, so we need Danico back in there healthy. We need Tart back in there healthy. We need the consistency. You know, I know we're on the defensive topic right now, but the Tennessee Titans team as a whole needs to be more consistent, just in general. You know, offense, defense, special teams, coaching, management, everything needs to be better. But as far as the defense in the Colts game, man, we got to execute better. You know, and I know that's a major word that we use on this podcast, execute, for this Tennessee Titans team. That's just what they have to do. We need that. You know, we definitely need more aggression. We need more tenacity. We need Vrabel's type of coaching implemented into these defensive players, and we need them to feel the same way that he does every single game going in. So, you know, that's my take on our defense in the Colts game. Maddox, what you got, man?
Definitely didn't perform well. I mean, front four didn't perform well. There was just, you know, I don't know if you guys seen the clip of Fulton after the game where he said he played a technically sound game. I don't really know what his definite technically sound game is, but that wasn't it in mine. We've got to perform better on defense, because right now our offense is showing us that they can't produce points when it matters. Our red zone efficiency, not to go picking at the offense, but our red zone efficiency was terrible. We had several. That was one of the most winnable games I've ever seen in my life. We had several opportunities to win that game, and we couldn't, you know, put the plays together. And I don't think that you can put that all in the defense. Well, the defense didn't hold them to, you know, 16 points, blah, 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 whatever, you know. Defense didn't hold them under 20 this week, so we couldn't win the game. We've got to be able to execute, you know, when we're in the red zone, when we're down in the scoring drives and stuff like that.
Talk about it.
You and me talked about it, man. The decision making. You know, there's a lot of times where it's one read, and that's what it sticks to, and it never changes, and it's almost like we're just giving the ball away at times, and we're just giving up on, you know, drives and possessions and stuff like that. But yeah, man, back to the defense, dude. I don't think cut Fulton. I say you sit Fulton, maybe for like a half or something like that. But you have to, you know, hold people accountable on this team. As Vrabel always likes to preach, you know, holding guys accountable for, you know, their actions and stuff like that. You can yell at somebody until you're blue in the face, no pun intended. But you have to at some point show these guys that you're serious. And I think, you know, sitting some of these guys that are underperforming this season, like Christian Fulton, would be, you know, a good idea. Sit him for a half and then see what happens. It can't hurt any more than what it is now, because the guy's allowing almost a perfect passer rating. Gary, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, guys. I mean, y'all both are spitting absolute facts here. I mean, it was definitely a lackluster day for this defensive front. You know, the Colts were able to, and hats off to the Colts run game. You know, they fired up that run game, and our defensive front, you know, which is shocking because we were ranked as one of the top run defenses in the league this year. So, you know, like I said, the Titans defense definitely did not come out to perform. It was just a poor performance. I mean, they could have had a 90-year-old blind man out there running the ball, and they would have led the Colts down the field to score on us. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty sad. And then, you know, as far as Fulton goes, I think you definitely got to pull Fulton out of the mix. You know, at least for a few games. I would personally consider a trade, you know, at this point, because I don't see a world where the Titans are a legit contender. So I think it's time that we start pivoting from trying to make it to the playoffs to actually preparing for next year. Because if we start that now, that can set us up for more success, you know, during the draft and during free agency. But if we wait to the last minute because we kept trying, and you know, what's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result each time, and that's exactly what we're seeing with this Titans team right now. So, you know, I definitely think that you considered a trade option, you know, maybe, you know, a Tannehill Fulton trade somewhere, and then you see what you got in Malik Willis or Will Levis, and, you know, I would trade Tannehill and Fulton and definitely get a top cornerback in the league for sure, like a Patrick Surtain. I know I'm messing that name up. I'm terrible at pronouncing it, but I'd get Patrick the second there from Denver. He's ranked as a number 2 corner in the NFL, and I think that, you know, that would be a great fit for the Tennessee Titans here.
Be 2 good pieces for Denver too, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely would. You know, especially with the struggles from, you know, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Russell Wilson. Yeah. So, you know, I definitely could see a world where, you know, that is a huge possibility for the Tennessee Titans. Then, guys, I also want to kind of go into the comments real quick. So, Titan Man, you know, I guess one of his keys to victory is run the ball. So I agree 100% with you there. And then Will O'Neill here says, I would rank them at 25. So, yeah. So, see, me and Will are kind of on the same page right here. And then Titan Man says, cut him completely, SMH, he's trash. So, yeah, you know, I think you can get a trade out of Fulton. You know, you throw in a Tannehill with that. I definitely think somebody would bite on that. And then let's kind of, you know, pivot into, you know, that last play we seen from Tannehill. You know, and in our notes here, I kind of put it as Tannehill's poor decision making. And the reason I put it as that is because we went back, I think it was yesterday, and we rewatched that replay of that play. And we watched it in slow motion, probably good 5-10 different times, guys. And each time, we noticed a couple different things. So to start out, the Titans had 3 receiving options to the right of the offensive line. And then they had Fulton on Tannehill's hip. And then you had D-Hop all the way to the left. So when the ball was hiked, D-Hop was completely covered. He had a guy on his hip the entire time. Well, when Tannehill got ready to release the ball, there were actually 3 other options that were wide open. So Christian Fulton came open as a check down. And I know there was only 10 seconds left on the clock. You know, so that kind of would, in a way, eliminate him. But you definitely, you know, as a quarterback, have to weigh your options. You know, if you're trying to win a game, you're going to have to hit either your check down or go somewhere else. But the biggest thing that angered me when I went back and watched this replay is the Titans actually had Chig set up to get a first down, and he was wide open. There wasn't anyone around him, you know, not even in a 15-yard range. He was wide open, and he had 2 blocking receivers out in front of him. So if you hit Chig there, then at best you get the first down. At worst, you know, Chig drops the pass and the play clock stops, and then you go for it on 4th down. So, you know, there's no way that ball would have been intercepted throwing it to Chig. I don't know what Tannehill, you know, and Tim Kelly are thinking when they're force-feeding this ball straight to D-Hop constantly like this. I know a lot of people are like, well, he was trying to win the game. Well, if you're trying to win the game, you got to not throw interceptions, and I think that that's just a really big issue that we've seen from Tannehill in this offense, is that they're not allowing him to go through his progressions, because I don't think, honestly, even if he was going through all his progressions, that it would be much different. So, Maddox, what is your thoughts on that play that we broke down?
Oh, dude, just going back and watching it, like I said live, like after the game, I didn't have time to, go back and look at the play and see, exactly what was going on and, everything like that. But I knew that there was 3 guys on DeAndre Hopkins, and knew that there was no possible way that was the best option on that play. There just, couldn't have been. So going back and watching that yesterday, breaking down that film, I mean, I just don't see where the read broke. Because when the play starts, if you go and watch it, it's almost like he's looking at, the right side of the field with, the 3 receiver set out there. And he glances that way, and then he turns his head to the left towards DeAndre Hopkins, and he never looks away again from DeAndre Hopkins. He set his mind on that one side of the field and just stuck with it at that point. And then, like you said, the pressure didn't get there until, after the ball was released. Like, I just think that there's a lot of decisions, like we've said, that are being made for him at this point, and he doesn't really have, because I don't know that it's, that he doesn't have the choice to, get out of them. I think that the decisions are ultimately being made for him at this point, just for the simple fact that he can't make the decisions on his own.
Yeah.
So I think those decisions are starting to be made for him. I hope that, going into tomorrow's game, that the offense together, all together as a whole, is productive. Because what we've seen against the Colts is that when we're not productive, we could have won that game several times. There's no way that you tell me that we couldn't have. We missed out on, 4 red zone opportunities?
Yeah, I believe so. For
Derrick Henry saying it, we got to get touchdowns, man. We got to go in there and get 6.
Yeah.
We can't live off of, Nick Folk, man. Nick Folk, he's a kicker. We can't live off of 3 every time we go down there. We got to go and, get 6, put up touchdowns, man, and get some production. That's what these guys are paid to do, is score touchdowns, not get us down there, so Nick Folk can kick it. That's not what they're paid to do. I just, I hope we have production tomorrow, because Baltimore, looking at them guys, they're a tough defense. They don't allow a lot of points, and we don't score a lot of points. So
yeah, facts, bro.
Kind of freaking out, but I'm hopeful for tomorrow, man. Gary, what do you think, man? I mean, what do you think about this Ravens defense, man?
Yeah, so we'll definitely be diving into this Ravens defense here in a little bit. But yeah, I think just kind of briefly talking about it, I think I have a really huge concern about this Ravens defense. I mean, like you said, Blueface, they don't allow a lot of teams to go and put up points against them. And then you're looking at this Titans offense who struggles in the red zone. We're not capable of consistently driving the ball down the field and putting up points. And, that kind of has to go on Tannehill. That kind of has to go on Tim Kelly, and somewhat on the receivers as well. We have to play more consistent football all around. But I think, if we're being honest here, I think, and like I said, I know people probably won't agree with this, but I think the best move for the Titans would be kind of the same way what we said for Fulton. Because come on, guys, if you're saying cut Fulton, hold Fulton accountable, bench him, if you're saying any of that, you got to sit back and you really got to say the same thing for Ryan Tannehill, because the man is not doing his job as a field general. As a field general, it's your responsibility to drive the offense down into the red zone and put up points, and he has not been able to do that. And I want to bring up some stats here. So let's go back to 2019 when we had quarterback Marcus Mariota with us. Marcus Mariota, through 6 games, had 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, with 1,208 yards.
sure those ain't
We-
Brock Purdy stats from this year?
And look, guys, I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. Like, that 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions came in the very last game when they pulled Mariota and replaced him with Tannehill. Okay, so we were 2-4 at that point. And then you look at Ryan Tannehill's stats so far this year, and through 5 games going into the 6th game, we are 2-3. Tannehill has 1,058 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, with a QBR of 37.6. 37.6. It is unacceptable. And, you know, I know a lot of people are like, well, we ain't got a better quarterback option behind him. You know, oh, well, at this point, Tannehill's not doing his job. We got to figure out what we do have sitting behind him, so that way we know whether or not we're going to have to go out and do something that is unprecedented in the NFL and draft 3 quarterbacks in 3 different years. We have to figure out whether or not Malik's the guy, whether or not Will Levis is the guy, and the only way you're going to do that is you go ahead and you make that change now. You know, so I would sit here and go as far to say is if Tannehill gets out here and starts struggling, if we make it into the red zone, you know, 2 or 3 times and he's not capable of putting up points, go ahead and make that change, you know. And that's, once again, that's not me bashing Tannehill. That's just me saying we got to start setting ourselves up for next year, because I don't see any world of possibility where the Titans are actually a contender unless by some miracle, you know, the football gods clapped their hands together and boom, we're, you know, instantly overnight a completely different team. I don't think that's going to happen. So
It'll be the last game we see Tannehill as a Titan. I agree with that.
Yeah, and you know, I'll say this, a huge shout out to my sister April who messaged me earlier. And, you know, she said that she has a weird feeling that this will be a game where Tannehill actually, quote unquote, goes down with an injury. Not a legit injury, but a injury, you know. So that's a lot coming from her, because we all know kind of her stance on the whole situation. But, you know, I do think that we have to make that change, guys. Like, we have to figure out something else, because it's not working on offense, you know. Massey, what's your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it sounds like a whole lot of wishful thinking for me, really. I do agree that maybe we should make that call, but we're never going to know until we do, like I've been saying. And also comparing, you know, Mariota's stats from 2019 to Tannehill's in 2023, to me, that doesn't mean anything. I kind of get where you guys are coming from. You know, I get it, 6 games in, things like that. But in general, you know, that doesn't matter. Yeah, in general, that part doesn't matter going into the season.
They had the same issues, if you look at it. I mean, they had pretty much the same issues. Our defense was kind of struggling. You know, they came alive in the second half of that season and kind of helped, you know, carry, you know, Tannehill in this offense, you know, through the 2019 playoffs, you know.
So
you also look at, you know, the coaching, you know, the offensive coordinator and stuff like that. Everybody's screaming, oh, Tim Kelly sucks at calling plays. Everybody was screaming, oh, well, you know, look at all the offensive coordinators that we went through with Marcus Mariota. You know, that was a huge problem then, too. So I think we have a lot of the same issues then that we do now, and everything is kind of relatable. You know, like you got A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. You got, you know, DeAndre Hopkins and
Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks. You had, you know, Jonnu Smith, and now you got Chiga Conquo. You know, like you have all these pieces and stuff, you know. Something's not gelling. Something's not working, you know, and common denominator, I feel like, you know, we're always coming back and talking about Tannehill. I don't want to bash the guy.
That's my point.
But,
that's
you
my
know,
point on it. That's my whole point on it.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, you go back and you look at it and you're like, you were getting production out of the guy, I think is, you know, the thing that we're looking at.
Yeah, that's the comparison.
Production. That's
the comparison here, is Marcus Mariota was outperforming what we're seeing from Tannehill this year. And yeah, it was, you know, different circumstances, you know, but you also got to look, you know, during that time that Mariota was playing, he got benched because one of A.J. Brown was not performing at the beginning of the season. A.J. Brown, let's be honest, at the beginning of the 2019 season was stinking it up. You know, and that ultimately fell on whose head? Marcus Mariota. And then by the time
that's what we're dealing with Tannehill too, man. Maybe not receivers and things like that, but you know, I get it. One read guy. We've all agreed on that part. He is a one read guy. But what I was getting at as far as comparing the stats and stuff, two totally different teams. Right? Y'all said it best though. Very similar situation, 100%. We said Tom Downing wasn't all that great at calling plays. Maybe Tim Kelly ain't all that great at calling plays. Maybe it's the whole team as a whole not executing. But I do agree, and I will stand firm on this. You know, make the switch. Make the switch and see what happens.
Yeah.
We have not gotten anywhere through 5 games going into 6, except for below 500. It's every other week. So make the switch. See if you get more consistency out of the next quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's my whole take on that.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, you'll never know, like you said, and kudos to you for saying this, but you'll never know what you're going to have in Malik Willis or Will Levis until you actually put them in the game and give them that time to show you, because let's be honest, you can't judge Malik Willis off of last year's performance. You go back and you watch the preseason games. Malik Willis looked like a whole different quarterback. And just for everybody out, out there who's going to say, "Oh, well, that was against a bunch of people who don't play in the NFL," you need to fact check yourself, because in the Vikings game during the preseason, guess what? They kept their starters in all the way up until third quarter. Then you go and you look at the Patriots game. Guess what? They did the exact same thing. And that Patriots game, hands down, Malik Willis was on fire that whole game. He looked sharp. And unfortunately we didn't get to see much of Will Levis, because Will Levis is injury prone and he went down week 1. So, or right after week 1, I should say. But, you have to figure out what you got in these two quarterbacks, because Tannehill's not going to be the guy of the future. He's not. I don't care what you sitting here wishing and thinking. Tannehill will not be a Tennessee Titans next year. It's not going to happen, especially at this rate, at the level that he's performing, So let me ask y'all this. Out of the two quarterbacks, Malik Willis and Will Levis, who do you think has the better chance of leading this team after Tannehill? And I'll shoot it to Blueface first.
I mean...
Nothing needs to be said. Dun, dun, dun.
No, I think that, Willis showed a lot of improvement in the preseason from his rookie year. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, he was throwing interceptions, against second strings and blah, 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 and da-da-da. Yeah, and he was throwing to guys that are, 5, 6, and 7 on the wide receiver depth chart. Give him D-Hop, give him Derrick Henry, give him, a full game with, all the starters and stuff, and see what he can do. Because I liked what I saw from, Willis and Spears in the preseason when they were featured together on the field. Willis and Spears looked really good. I thought that was really exciting. Part of our preseason was watching them on the field together. And Malik showed us once again this preseason, guys, that he can get it done both ways, through the air and with his legs. If he can't get it done in the air, that just gives us, more versatility to our offense. It doesn't completely take our quarterback out of the game like it does with Ryan Tannehill. If Ryan Tannehill is having a bad day throwing the ball, then they know that we're going to utilize Derrick Henry, and that's how we're going to run our offense. We're not going to switch back to Ryan Tannehill, because we're not, going to just keep throwing interceptions all game, unless it's the Saints, I guess. I don't know what was going on there. Got comfortable doing that, I guess. Thought it was funny. I don't know.
Shots fired, bro. Shots fired.
I just don't, see us, progressing anymore with Tannehill than where we've seen it go already.
Yeah.
I think that we've seen the best, and that the worst is yet to come, guys. I'm just saying. I think that we've seen flashes of, the end of Tannehill. Just time to move on, I think, man. I think we've seen enough. Other teams are talking about it with younger and, less experienced quarterbacks in the league, 5, 6 years, 3, 4 years. I mean, we're not ready to give up on year 12 for making these. He's ranked 30th in the league, guys.
And he's a 12-year vet, man. That's crazy.
I don't want Tannehill to fail. I really don't want Tannehill to fail, but, I mean,
And here's my
Number
thing.
17, hey, number 17 is not the one. That's why you see I took the 1 out back there and just left the 7. You know what I'm saying?
dang, man, that's a good one.
But there you go. That was a
man,
good
I'm not a rapper, but I like doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Matt, man, how do you feel, man? Who do you got, man? Will Levis or Levi's, or I don't want to mess his name up.
Mayonnaise boy.
Yeah. Do you like? So you got Will or Malik, man? What are you thinking, man?
Well, I'm really stuck in the middle here, guys, because I also put mayonnaise in my coffee, so I really don't know what to do here. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously,
that's it. That explains everything.
We're not sponsored by any type of mayo company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Let me take the mayo.
Feel free to holler at us though if any mayonnaise company's watching.
No, obviously, guys. Between the two, I'm picking Logan Woodside. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, we're gonna get shut down, guys.
No. Obviously, I'm going with Malik, man. His mobility, I feel like, would fit into this offense really well, especially if they implement that. I mean, I feel like that was something they could have implemented better with Mariota as well. Their mobility, RPOs, guys. RPOs are a real thing. So, run pass options with Malik Willis and Derrick Henry, and then you throw in Tajay Spears in there as well. I feel like that would be pretty unstoppable, because then we go from predictable to unpredictable, and that's really what this team needs to do. We are so predictable right now, it's pretty sad. But anyways, to go back to the question, definitely taking Malik over Will Levis, and that's no shot to Levis. He, just like Malik needed last year, Levis needs more experience. He needs to be in there, and he needs to continue to get better and practice and things like that and develop. So, and as far as Malik goes, man, that guy has potential to be the next best thing, whether it's for the Titans or for another team. He does have potential. He just needs to do the same thing: develop, get better. And like Maddox said,
Yeah.
I would love to see Tannehill, just turn this whole season around and make us eat every single word out of our mouths that we've been saying so far.
That'd be nice, man.
Yeah, it would be great. And then if that don't happen, man, put Malik in there. Let's see what happens. Maybe Malik goes in there and does some unbelievable stuff. I got faith in the man. Like I said, his mobility alone for this offense is better. His decision-making to get rid of the ball if he's going down is better than a 12-year veteran. So that alone says a lot to me. I couldn't say the same about Levis. I don't really, other than Levis's college's games, I don't have anything to base that off of. But being able to watch Malik in his 3 starts last year, it gave me some insight on him. And obviously watching his progression in this preseason compared to last year's 3 games, absolutely great. Like I said, sky's the limit for Malik. He's definitely my pick out of those. Gary, what about you, brother?
Yeah, man. If I had to pick between Malik Willis and Will Levis, I'm definitely going Malik Willis, hands down. I know I know my big factor in this and going with Malik Willis is the simple fact of when you see Malik Willis play, he flashes at times something we like to call the it factor. But when we watched Will Levis play, I felt like I was watching, a cheap, Wish version of Ryan Tannehill. It's like the Titans went and ordered a Ryan Tannehill off of Wish, and boom, this is what we're getting. And I'm not trying to be mean, but the man's already injury prone. He couldn't even make it through 2 weeks of preseason, and he got hurt in a joint practice. So what's going to happen when you put him in a live game against legit starters? He's probably going to get hurt, So I'm definitely going with Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis has not only improved, from year 1 and going into year 2, but you mentioned it, Massey, is he has an element that neither one of the 2 quarterbacks that we, and Tannehill and Levis, he has an element about him that they don't have, and that's his speed, his mobility. his ability to break contact, his ability to not only break contact but still deliver the ball down the field. You know, so the more that he continues to get to face these, you know, starting NFL caliber defenses, the more he's going to be able to continue to sharpen his tools. And I think that, you know, had the Titans knew that Malik Willis would have improved this much, I think we'd be seeing a whole different story in the draft. I don't think we would have got Will Levis. You know, but with that being said, I want to go to the comments. So definitely people lashing out in the comments here at us. So we got these are all from Titan Man. So Titan Man says Ravens suck. Titans win by 14. Then he says Willis sucks, and then he says y'all are funny, and then he said why is Goofy on his face? LOL.
That's me.
So, guys, yeah, so that's a little inside joke there. Guilty. So, definitely, you know, go over to all of our social media platforms. You know, if you go on our TikTok page, you can definitely see that video where we were on somebody else's show, and I actually tripped Massey up in the middle of his segment so bad that he wasn't able to finish his segment. You know, it's definitely hilarious. Definitely go over to our TikTok at What's Shaking Titans and check that out because it's pretty good. So that's the whole thing. It's an inside joke there. So that's why Goofy's on his face.
Check that out.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out. And then real quick, guys, if you're watching us live right now on YouTube, we want to just take the time to thank you. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel. Turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video and we'll pop up more often. And if you're watching us right now live on Facebook, guys, huge shout out to the Facebook OGs over there, guys. Thank y'all for taking the time to watch us. Definitely share us out to all your friends, to all your groups. The more you share us out, the more people get to know about us, you know. And guys, we just definitely want to take the time to say thank you. We appreciate every single one of y'all. We appreciate everybody in the comments, including yours truly, Matthew Massey, who comments tighten up. So huge shout out to our co-host there. You know, definitely having to get the double fame here. So huge shout out to him.
There's my son.
That's facts.
That's facts, guys.
My son. I just didn't put Junior behind the name.
Hey, shout out to Matt Jr., mate.
Shout out to Matt Jr. there, guys. So, guys,
like his daddy does.
right. So, with all that being said, let's start breaking down this week 6. So, we're gonna do this by starting out with the week 6 injury report.
Oh baby, I'm black and blue.
All right, guys. So as you've seen on your screen there, unfortunately, we got Brewer. He's questionable. Traylon Burks, he's out again. I believe the 3rd week in a row. That part sucks for sure. Gifford is out again. I believe he was out as well as last week. Molden is out as well, and then we have Simmons, which is questionable. But I'm sure y'all agree with me on this. Is knowing Simmons is his grit and things like that, I definitely think he's going to play. Guys, what do y'all think about that injury report right there?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Traylon Burks is going to miss yet another game for the Tennessee Titans. You know, I think that having Burks on the field, it definitely brings another element to this team. I'll kind of refer back to something that, you know, a special guest said on our show, and, you know, Ryan Harris. You know, if we want to consider Burks to be a legit weapon for this Titans offense, he has to be available. The best availability is availability, and he's not ever available, you know. So we definitely got to figure out, you know, a way to keep our players healthy. You know, although we're doing a lot better job than we did last year so far. So knock on wood, hopefully that continues. But you know, I have to say, guys, that it really does suck for the Titans offense. And then as far as everyone else, you know, I'm not too really worried about those people. I am concerned about Tierre Tart's questionable, being questionable, and then, I'm also concerned about Big Jeff, who appeared on the injury report multiple times this week. So,
I just want to throw in there, Tierre Tart is actually playing. He is not questionable.
okay, so Tierre Tart is definitely in.
Yeah, he's in.
Okay, so I think that will definitely help out this defense, especially the defensive front. But Matthew, man, what's your thoughts on this?
Which one?
Man.
Maddox.
Oh, sorry.
Made me feel like I was in trouble when you said that.
Matthew, report to the principal's office right now, sir.
Hold on, I did the wrong one. Sorry.
Massey knows how I feel, man. If I'm gonna call him Matthew, I'm like, oh gosh, what I do, man.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. Thought I was in trouble too.
No, but I agree with you, man. I think the biggest one for me is obviously Traylon Burks being out again, and just not being able to play in games. And just ultimately that makes him ineffective. If you're not on the field, bro, you can't do anything about the game. The results of the game, you can't help us anyway. So he's got to get healthy and stay healthy, man. Or is it time to move on from Traylon Burks too? I know he's young, it's his second season, but if you can't stay on the field with this man, I mean, go sit on somebody else's bench, because I'm good, man. I want to see guys out there, making plays and, getting us some wins.
Talk
about it, bro. I mean, that's a good point here. Let me, first of all, we got the question in the comments, so we'll get to that in just 1 second, but let me pose this question to both of y'all. I'm going to shoot it to Massey first, and then Massey can shoot it over to Blueface. But my question is, what if we did a trade? Ryan Tannehill and Traylon Burks for a top cornerback and a decent wide receiver too. Would you run it? And if so,
go get Jerry. Hey, go get Patrick Surtain and
Patrick Surtain the second.
Patrick Surtain and Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, but here's the thing: we're talking about moves that actually make sense, and we're also putting the Titans in the same conversation. So, we're lacking that. You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong? All right, D-Hop, great decision, obviously. You know what I mean? But no, Gary, to answer your question, like I said, that would be a very smart move to make. Yeah. And really, you could ask yourselves, or the viewers can ask themselves too. Why haven't we made a move like that? Why didn't we make that kind of move in the offseason?
My only reasoning left in this whole Tannehill thing, man, and I'm done with it after that with Tannehill and, the whole argument back and forth on who should be the quarterback. Let the organization make the choice because, at this point, everybody's opinion is wrong. Either way you ask it with somebody, nobody's going to change their mind. Everybody feels the way that they feel. My only reason I say move on from Tannehill now is because we have to develop somebody. If we show that we can't develop Malik Willis, if we show that we can't develop Will Levis, then no quarterback out of the draft is going to want to say, oh, yeah, I'm excited about the Titans. I'm ready to get started with this franchise.
Facts.
Blah, blah, blah. That's going to be devastating to get drafted by us as a quarterback in the draft. They're going to be like, man, these guys drafted 2 quarterbacks, back to back. Now they're drafting me. Like, what's going on? Like, am I just going to sit here and, behind another veteran and 12th year guy struggling and watch that my whole career? Because there's no way that we bring Tannehill back, so we have to move on eventually. I think now is the time to move on because there's nothing left with Tannehill. You have to give up on it. There's nothing left with him, and I hope he does it. But I think that against this Ravens defense, man, I think that we could see the final spurt that's left in the tank there, man. I think it could, show its head, this weekend, just like it did against the Saints and, the Browns.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, bro.
Yeah, we'll find out in the morning.
Yeah. And then, guys, in the comments, Titan Man asked us, favorite game you have ever been to. So me personally, I want to say it was maybe 2017, 2016. It was when we drafted Mariota, and me and my wife had attended a preseason game, and I was so excited because I was wanting to see Marcus Mariota. I was concerned because I didn't know if the Titans were going to actually play him in the preseason, but we actually got to see Mariota, come out and perform. It was one of the only performances I ever got to see live of Marcus Mariota, and it was just, to me, that was one of my favorite games that I've been to. But I'm gonna shoot it over to Massey, man. What was your favorite game that you've ever attended?
I gotta go with the very first game that I was ever able to go to, which was the Cleveland Browns versus the Tennessee Titans. It was when Johnny Manziel was their quarterback and Mariota was also our quarterback. We were losing that whole game and ended up coming back in the end, winning it 28-26. And that was, being my first experience seeing it live. I just couldn't believe. I mean, we were up in the nosebleeds, man, but still, I just cannot believe the visual I had and how awesome it was to be there, seeing it live in action instead of on a TV after watching it for so many years on television. So yeah, I definitely gotta go with the Browns and Titans game. I couldn't tell you what year it was, but it was super awesome. It was my first live experience at a game, man, and I loved it. Maddox, what about you, man?
That's a tough question, man. I mean, I've been to a ton of games, so that's a hard one for me to answer. And for me being Blueface, I've had a lot of different experiences at Nissan Stadium. So, um, man, I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna have to go with Christmas Eve, man. Last season, uh, just for the spot that we were in. The view of everything that was going on, the moments that happened, being on the Jumbotron, we were in the newspaper, we made the news on television, just all kinds of different stuff. So it was super exciting, just being there. And it's completely slipped my mind, the whole time that we're there playing the Texans, where I'm like, oh man, it's Christmas, tomorrow's Christmas, got a jam packed day tomorrow too. So it was definitely an exciting day. It was supposed to be like one of the coldest games, if not the coldest, at Nissan, I believe.
Yeah, they said it was
Yeah,
the coldest one
I
ever.
remember that, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I
That was
wasn't cold.
insane.
I wasn't
No,
cold. So
I wasn't either, man. And I was able to be there. Maddox was able to get me and my brother there for that game too. And I tell you, man, one of the coolest times, win, lose or draw. Like I said earlier, win, lose or draw, man. It is such a great experience.
yeah, dude, it was awesome. And for those of y'all who don't know, man, me and Massey, we're like best friends, man. That's my brother from another mother. So me and him, get to experience that together, man. We were right there, I think it's section like 127 or 26, row A. Santa Claus was over there drinking his little mixed drink,
The
and
Grinch.
yeah, we had the Grinch come down there. It was just a cool experience. Just all the stuff. Aside from the game, that happens, man. And I think that is a lot of it in a different perspective. For me, rather than just being a regular fan and being a super fan, is there's so much more that I go to the games for than just myself and watching the team. Um, other people's entertainment and cheer other people up, and just be a positive influence, on the crowd and stuff like that, and try to get everybody hype up and support the team, almost like another mascot. So I
Yeah.
definitely have to go with that game, man, because I mean we were all over the place, man. Jumbotron and everything. Even when we
Yeah.
were down, and it looked like we were gonna lose anyway. We were still partying, having a great time. We hung out in the stands after the game and stuff. Took pictures and stuff. So it was an awesome experience, man. If you've never been to a Titans game, guys, and you're a
Definitely
Titans
recommend it.
fan, I highly recommend it. If you can't get to a game, please reach out to me. I will find a way to help you get to a game so you can experience it. I can't promise you on where the seats will be, but I will help you get to a game. That's part of what I like to do, is help people, experience the games, and get some gear, whatever it may be. So if you guys need any help with that, definitely reach out to me, and let me know about that, because it's Nissan City. Crazy experience. It's absolutely incredible. I can't wait for the new stadium, but
Yes.
Nissan, man, I've been there, a million times now, and there's no other feeling like that, guys. I promise you.
True. And
Yeah.
if I may, man, I can throw in a little honorable mention for me, as far as experiences at a Titans game, if that's cool.
Yeah, go right ahead, bro.
Yeah. So the Patriots preseason game, the last preseason game for the Titans this season, which me and Maddox were also able to go to together, and also my girlfriend's first experience at a Titans game. There was a really, really cool moment. So this guy, he was one of the media guys, and he was walking around with the cameras. Well, obviously I didn't know he controlled the Jumbotron or anything like that, but I noticed he had a similar beard to mine. You know what I mean? Like a really nice shaped beard, and it was long and everything. So I got his attention by pointing out my beard, and I was like, "Hey man, can we get on the screen, blah blah blah?" And he put up a thumbs up, and I kid you not, a few minutes later, man, we were all on the Jumbotron. And it was awesome. that was a really awesome experience.
Yeah, facts. And huge shout out to what Blueface was saying about y'all's friendship. Mr. Gary over here is a chopped liver. I'm joking, guys, but no, I want to bring out my best friend right here, Mr. Little Astronaut. So shout out to Little Astronaut guy here. Joking, guys.
Gary,
absolutely joking, guys. So
you're part of the squad. Stop it.
Absolutely joking here. Just wanted to bring some humor into this. But guys, let's go to our comments. We got Titans Kong in here. Said, "Are we rocking Oilers gear in London? Tighten up." No, we are not rocking the Oilers gear in London, but we will be rocking the Oilers gear coming out of the bye week against the Atlanta Falcons. So that is going to definitely be an awesome game. There's going to be a lot of Oilers alumni there. So it's going to be one for the books, one to definitely keep your eye on and watch. Knock on wood, hopefully us three will actually be attending that game live. That's the plans for right now. So, hopefully we get to follow that out.
We'll be there, y'all.
There you go.
To be there, y'all come party with us in Lot R. Shout out Two Tone Blue Nation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hicks and all of them over there. Definitely give them a huge shout out.
Yeah, man, we're gonna party and we're gonna go in there and beat the Falcons, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, imagine for the viewers right now. Imagine the fun that all three of us are gonna have together in the same spot.
Now, y'all stay.
Talk about it. But guys, so with all that being said, we're going to go to a quick break real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to finish out this episode. Definitely want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in to What's Shaking Titans. Definitely smash that like button if you're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe, turn on all notifications. And if you're watching us on Facebook, definitely share us out to all your friends, to all your groups. Sharing is caring, guys. We'll holler back at y'all in just a minute.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 live, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big boss, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running.
All right, guys, welcome back into What's Shaking Titans. Once again, I am your host, Gary Bailey, and then joining me right over here, we got your co-hosts, Matthew Massey and Matthew Maddox. So, guys, we have a awesome rest of the episode kind of planned for you. So we're going to kind of start knocking these topics out fast and furious here, no pun intended, but we're going to knock them out pretty fast and get through the rest of this. So I'm going to start us out here, guys. Will the trip to London play an effect to both these teams? And I'm going to shoot it to Massey first, man. What's your thoughts on that?
Very, very possible, man. And to be honest with you, 3 out of the 5 games that we played so far, I feel like it's not traveling necessarily, but I feel like our players are, off doing some mess that they shouldn't be doing during the week coming up to the game. But that's just on me. That's just my opinion as far as, the way it looks like they're playing on the field leading up. Yeah, I mean, it could, it very well could. And if it does, I really hope it affects the Ravens more than the Titans. You know what I mean? Obviously, I know that's obvious, but so yeah, it's a very big possibility. Maddox, what do you think on that?
I think the traveling, I definitely think that plays, factors into, both of these teams and how they prepared for it. I know both of them went in preparing differently for this week and, going through their progressions for everything. So on a neutral ground, I don't know that you can say that there's really an advantage for either of these teams. Because, I'd say there's going to be, certain things that the Titans are going to think, oh, well, we can pinpoint this and this will, be a big advantage for us. And then there's going to be things that, the Ravens, are going to be like, oh, well, now we can pinpoint this, take advantage of this, whatever it may be. I think it's going to be a pretty balanced game. I think it's going to be, pretty even despite the Ravens, having such a great offense and the Titans, lacking production on, offense. I feel like we're in store for a good game in London, man, and I'm excited for it. That's just, my honest opinion on it. I feel like there's no real advantage that you can take away from either of these teams going across, into London and playing in this game with both teams, preparing for this differently. Now, if they went into this, completely the same, and everything, was set out in, like some type of script and, daily plan for both of these teams to where they both had to go through certain things and, maybe a joint practice or whatever, then maybe you could, find some, key advantages that you could take away from both of these. But I think, with how they both prepare differently, I think it's going to be a mix-up and it's going to be a toss-up in the air.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with that. I think it could play a little effect, more so for the Titans than I'd say the Ravens, because the Ravens been out there all week long. Titans traveled out there. I want to say it was Thursday evening, and which means that they would have got there Friday morning. So, I think the Ravens would be more set of it not to play a factor for them than it would the Titans. But, yeah. So, I think, honestly, the only way to tell is, tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Central Time,
Let's go.
Let's go. So, let me ask you this, Blueface. What are your key matchups for this game?
Oh, key matchups, man. So obviously Christian Fulton and Odell Beckham. This is going to be a tough test for Christian Fulton. Sean Murphy Bunting, same way. Um, the Ravens are a team that, when we look at the Titans roster, the Titans have a lot of pieces that they could, almost kind of mimic this Ravens offense in a way. Not just say that, we're the same in, every category or whatever, but we do have pieces that are almost similar to what the Ravens have. So, with that being said, the Ravens are an explosive offense that can absolutely, dominate you in multiple ways through their run game, through passing the ball, quarterback options, play action, whatever it may be. And, Lamar Jackson, we've seen he's that MVP, caliber quarterback. So, tough test, man. I think it's just going to be, just ultimately just, a real, fought out battle between the both of us.
Massey, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
Yeah, so as a key matchup, I'm gonna go. I know, obviously they don't go against each other during the game, but technically they do. So I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson versus Ryan Tannehill. That's gonna be a key matchup for me to watch, to see the quarterback playing between the two teams. With that being said, the Ravens passing offense is 24th right now in the league, versus the Titans passing offense, which is 26th in the league. So for that, for me, is a really good matchup, offense versus offense, quarterback versus quarterback. If DeAndre Hopkins is able to keep his same momentum and carry that over to the next game, man, let's get him a touchdown or two. You know what I mean? He got a $140 in the last game. Let's get him a touchdown added to that stat, one or two. You know what I mean? Either one. But as far as my key matchups go, I feel like offense versus offense, quarterback versus quarterback. What about you, Gary?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans defensive front and versus Lamar Jackson. Guys, if we allow Lamar Jackson to use his legs like we did Deshaun Watson, I have a feeling that this game could be very ugly, very fast for us. So, I'm definitely looking for the Titans defensive line to have a bounce back game against a mobile quarterback here. Let's keep him contained. Let's not allow him to escape the pocket. And then, our secondary against Lamar Jackson's arm, they're going to have to stand up when he makes these passes down the field. If not, once again, it's going to be an ugly day for us. And then my honorable mention here would be Ryan Tannehill versus the entire Ravens defense. Tannehill's going to have to be able to go up and put up points. He's going to have to change the narrative surrounding him when he's in the red zone. If he don't, this is already a Ravens team who don't allow a lot of points as is. So, I think this might be a game where we have to rely heavily on Nick Folk yet again. Fingers crossed that's not the case, but I believe that's what we're going to kind of. Yeah.
Hey, add one more honorable mention in there, man. Harborough versus Vrabel, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup too, for sure. And then I want to go to the comments real fast, guys. We got Titans Kong. He said all of our secondary needs to step up, and hopefully Chig can shine in this game offensively. So yeah, fingers crossed that's the case. And Chig can shine. And
About time for KB to go get him one.
yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that hasn't happened yet up until this point. So, Massey, man, Stats have it that if the Titans win, the Titans have a 52% chance to make it to the playoffs. However, if the Titans lose this game and drop to 2-4, that chance of making it to the playoffs drops to 21.6%. What is your thoughts on these stats, man?
You want to know my thoughts on that? Let's go get the dang win. Let's go win some football, man. You know what I'm saying? 52%, and if it goes down to 21.6, I mean, you know, the way they've been playing, if I didn't see these on paper, or legitimately done, I wouldn't believe you, to be honest with you. And I hate to be like that. I love my Titans. Obviously, we all do. But I'm just being realistic here. So, like you said it. We got to win this game. We go at 52%. I know it's only the 6th game into the season, but it makes a difference. That percentage right there for the win probability makes a difference. Now, like I said, you go to 21.6. If you lose this game, then what's your mentality? That brings up all right, are we tanking? We going for a draft pick? You know what I mean? Or are we going to make the switch at quarterback? We're going to try and make a run for these playoffs. With only going into our 6th game of the season, we cannot be thinking that tanking thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We cannot be thinking like that. We have to have that mentality of we're going to win. We're going to do whatever we have to do, what it takes to get into the playoffs, and then go from there after we make the playoffs. So, as far as this percentage goes, man, it only means a lot going into this game. Obviously, during the game and after the game, it's not going to mean as much. Yeah, you're going to know, is it 52% going into the playoffs or is it 21.6? But it's going to tell you a lot about this team and what their future holds for the rest of this season. Maddox, what do you think about that, man? You got me. You want me to redo the let you know the
percentages for playoffs? Yeah, 51% if we win, 21.6 if we lose. Guys, honestly, even at 51% chance to make the playoffs, I don't know how much of a contender we are right now. We're not looking at a team that's went in and beat a convincing Bengals team or a convincing Chargers team. We're a team that beat a lackluster Chargers team and a lackluster Bengals team. 2 teams that are on the outs right now. They're just kind of in this constant spin cycle. So I don't feel like even with a 51% chance to make the playoffs, I feel like either way we come out of this game, there's a lot during the bye week that needs to be adjusted and needs to be looked at, needs to be worked on. I don't know what all goes into that. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what all goes into that stuff because I don't. But I do know that after this London game, when the Titans get back to Nashville, that there's a lot that needs to change for this team if we want to make any type of contending run this season.
Yeah, and I mean you're spitting absolute facts, both of y'all. One thing I want to kind of talk about here, Massey, you mentioned not wanting to tank. Guys, if we do end up making a quarterback swap, even if it is tomorrow during the game or during the bye week, it doesn't mean we're tanking the season. It doesn't mean that at all. If anything, we're trying to set ourselves up for success later on down the line, and you can't do that, by doing the same thing over and over again. Like I mentioned earlier,
the Mariota and Tannehill switch.
Yeah.
When you look at that, we weren't tanking. I think they were trying to make an adjustment that was the quickest fix for this, team. And when you look at a football team, there's 53 men on the roster, 11 men on both sides of the ball, but the quickest adjustment for a team has to be quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean,
that's gonna cause the most impact and the drastic change that you're gonna see immediately from your team is by switching the quarterback, and that's what we saw when we put in, Ryan Tannehill. No, we didn't see that in the Denver game. Had the interception. He only missed 3 passes. One of them was that interception. But from there on out, man, the chemistry that he built with, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith, definitely in the red zone. And, the way that we utilize Derrick Henry in the offense, it all worked so well together. So I think that maybe, the switch wouldn't be as much of a tank situation like Gary's saying, but so much of trying to find a new spark in this offense where, we got that out of Ryan Tannehill in the past. Can we find that in one of these guys that we have on the bench? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, put Malik Willis in, that'll fix everything, or put Will Levis in, that'll fix everything. But I can tell you right now, guys, my honest opinion of it is if you keep Ryan Tannehill in, that's not going to fix anything. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, that's absolute facts there. Like I said, you're not tanking the season by making a quarterback change. You're only trying to prepare yourself better for the future. You're trying to figure out whether or not, you have your guy at quarterback already, or whether or not you're going to have to go out and make a trade during free agency, or at worst, draft another quarterback. So, don't think by a quarterback change that it's them automatically going to tank. And if I start seeing that, if we do see a quarterback change, it's gonna light a fire underneath me, and trust me, y'all will hear about it. So,
do y'all think this is a must-win game?
This is definitely a must-win game, not only for Tannehill, but for this Titans organization as a whole. For your chances to go from 52% down to 21.6, you have to be able to pull it off. And I'll be straight up honest, I don't think they'll be able to.
Well, for me, what that's saying is, going from 51 to the 20%. What that says to me is that NFL analysts and insiders don't believe that if the Titans lose this game, they don't believe that the Titans can win 8 to 10 of the remaining games on their schedule.
Facts. And then, Titans Kong.
I do agree with that.
Titans Kong in the comments, he said, I still think at 2-4, we still have hopes for playoffs. As long as we don't lose 6 to 7 games, I think we will be okay. But we gotta stack wins, and it starts now. Exactly.
I didn't like how he talked that loss into existence right there. He said 2-4. I didn't like.
Well, I mean, guys, let's just be honest, and like I said, we're huge Titans fans. But honestly, do you think that the Titans really stand a shot to pull off this win?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't. NFL. I mean, yeah, it's the NFL, but what has the Titans shown you? They've shown you consistently, but they've
7-3 win against the Bengals.
They've shown you consistently though they cannot put up points in the red zone. Okay, going against this Baltimore Ravens team, you're going to have to be able to get in the red zone and put up points.
I would believe that more if we were a 0-5 team instead of a 2-3 team.
Well, I mean, I have to disagree with that, man. Like, when has Tannehill consistently put up points? Go look through the touchdown. Tannehill has 2 touchdowns. Most of our touchdowns have came from someone else outside of Tannehill. And Tannehill being the general, being a quarterback, you are the general. You have to be able to put up points. And we're not seeing that from him. So, if for some reason this Ravens defense shuts down the running game and we are forced to throw the ball, guess what? We're in trouble. If for some reason that this Ravens team is able to go up and consistently put up points, guess what? We're in big trouble. And mark my words, I really have this feeling that we could be seeing another Cleveland Browns type of game here.
I agree with everything but the last part of that. I don't think we'll see a Cleveland Browns type game. I don't think we'll see a New Orleans Saints type game. I think that, like I said, one of my, my honorable mention for, the key matchups was the coaching here on both sides. So I think that if you're Mike Vrabel, that this is the week that you have to hold guys accountable. Or going into the bye, I'm sorry, man, you can end up just like Todd Downing, just like J-Rob. You can end up the same way. Because if practice what you preach at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Your comments on Christian Fulton, were do your job. What can I say to a guy? Linebacker. Defensive end. defensive back, do your job, cover your man. Mike Vrabel, do your job. If you're, telling these guys that, I'm going to hold y'all accountable, guys are going to start seeing the bench, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're going to make switches and changes and start making some of those changes. Pull these guys out, even if it's not for the rest of the season. If you pull Tannehill out for, a quarter, if he starts, going out there and stinking it up, dude, pull him out for a quarter. See if, that helps, if that's what you want to go, if that's the route you want to go. You don't have to pull the guy out for the other. You can make these changes back and forth.
Yeah.
If
Facts,
the
bro.
switch isn't any better, you can, go back to what you had out there. See if that helps, though. Hold these guys accountable and let them know that you're serious and that we want to be a contender and that we want to win football games. Because right now, I think what he's teaching everybody and showing everybody is that average is okay. And I don't think that, I know that Amy Adams doesn't agree with average is okay. I think that, she definitely wants us to be winners and contenders now. For her and, her entire family, they, very prideful in this organization and, what her father started and stuff like that. So I think that, a switch would be good for us and that, a lot of it is going to have to come with Vrabel making these decisions and, finally holding people accountable.
Definitely. And then Titans Kong comes in here and comments. He says, I don't mean to speak it into existence, even though it feels like I just already did. But on the bright side, we have a bye week and get back to Titans football after the bye. So, yeah, regardless, win or lose, we definitely have a bye week, coming up after this game. But you definitely feel like this is one of those games that, the Titans have to win. So with that being said, guys, we're going to move into the final three parts of our episode here tonight, guys. And we're going to start out with Gary's 3 keys to a victory.
Mega win!
All right, guys, so my 3 keys to victory here, coming in with number uno. I'm going to keep it the same as I have the last 5 weeks. Henry, because every time we utilize Henry for more than 13 times in a game, we have won that game. So, guys, let's get that Henry effect going yet again. I think that's something that I know the Titans organization, it feels like are trying to move away from, but, are not fully capable of doing just yet. So we got to get Henry going. Henry is definitely the key to this offense and definitely key to being able to put up consistent points. And then my second key to victory here, guys, I'm going to go contain. We have to contain Lamar Jackson. If we allow Lamar to escape the pocket, this game is going to be very ugly. It's going to be a lot like Deshaun Watson in the Cleveland Browns game. I truly feel that. I know my co-host disagrees with me, but guys, Lamar Jackson is more capable of using his legs than Deshaun Watson ever was. So we have to contain Lamar Jackson. Keep him in the pocket. Don't allow him to escape. Force him to use his arm. Force him to beat you with his arm. And then for my final key is going to be Tannehill in the red zone. When Tannehill gets in the red zone, he has to be able to put up points. If he's not able to put up points, we got to make that QB change. So those are my 3 keys to victory right there. Once again, it's Henry. Second is contain Lamar Jackson. And third is going to be put up points in the red zone. And then before we move on here, we got Titans Kong back in the comments. He says, once they revamp and give us the new stadium, there is no way in HE double hockey sticks. Sorry, I cracked myself up on that one. There's no way in heck that the Titans will be bad. Will be a bad team, kind of like the Rams situation. So, I mean, yeah, we're talking what I think is 2026 for the stadium to be done, guys. Do y'all know that?
I believe you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, guys, you got to think though. That's 2-3 years from now, and of course, this ain't going to be the same team. I have full confidence that Ran Carthon, will bring in the right pieces to get this turned around. And guys, we got to remember, it's only been one season. Ran Carthon hasn't even had a full season with the Titans yet. To turn around this crap fest that John Robinson left us with. So hats off to what he's done so far, getting Nick Fulton or Nick Folk, sorry, and D Hop, and just his effort to turn around this offense and this whole organization. So I think you just you have to stay patient here and know that the Titans are in it for the long haul. That's just my opinion with that, and definitely by the time the new stadium gets here, I believe we'll have a whole different situation on our hands. But guys, with that being said, it's time to go to Matt's Fly High Shy bold prediction of the week.
All right, guys. I'm coming in with a little bit different strategy this week. I just botched that word. I meant to say strategy this week. My first two predictions were on the defensive side, I believe. I'm going to go offense this time. I'm going to say a 27-yard reception from Tannehill to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, that's
a 27-yard touchdown reception from Tannehill to Hopkins.
So we're going a TD here. That is definitely a bold take for you there, brother.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. And then,
I like switching it up, being different, you know what I mean? Making it interesting.
Yeah, and then, guys, we also got so we got Titans, man. He said, what's the shy fly mean? And who's that?
I would love to explain that.
Go right ahead, brother.
I'll go ahead and take that over. Appreciate the question, man. So the segment is for my late wife. She had passed away in a car accident November of 2021. And these two guys, my co-host here, were awesome enough and grateful enough to be able to give me that segment and such a great way to implement, what me and my wife had going on in our lives and things like that. So, that's what that segment's about. And, hopefully by the grace of, her being in heaven now, some of these predictions are actually going to hit. And what a story that'll be to be able to talk about, on a podcast afterwards, if one of my predictions actually does hit on the money, or if I get more than one, then we gotta know, she's up there doing something, you know what I'm saying? So that segment is for me, for my wife. And again, guys, appreciate you guys so much for being able to throw that in the episode, or I mean in the podcast. And so that's what that's for.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, we're a big family here, so not only did we want to honor you with that segment, but we also wanted to honor your wife there. And then real quick, let's go into our comments here. Titans Kong says, my condolences to you, praying hands. And then Titans Man says, so sorry, crying face. So guys, speaking as a whole here, we definitely appreciate your kind words and all of that, going out to our co-host Matt there. And then Titans Kong, yeah, definitely very much appreciate it. And then Titans Kong also commented before all that. He said maybe Braves will go out there on fourth and sorry. This is a good one. He said maybe Braves will go out there on 4th and goal and score us a touchdown.
Hey, Braves will catch it. Braves is going to be the receiver.
Yeah, definitely. And then Titans Kong also comes in here and she says Titans better win a Super Bowl for her. So you hear that, Titans? You got to win a Super Bowl for us. For Shy, no doubt. It better come.
That's right. Absolutely. That would. I mean, what a great thing and conversation that would be to have, amongst us, the Titans fan base, us three brothers. You know what I mean? Just to me, it would be unbelievable, which is a crazy word for me to use considering what I've been through in my 30 years of life, But with that being said as well, I know I'm not the only one. So, reaching out to anybody else, just if you ever need somebody to talk to or a shoulder to lean on, guys, I'll do my best to be that person for you. That's just kind of the heart I have in me, and especially after losing my wife, it just made me want to try and be there. Not necessarily just for anybody, but for the people that mean the most to me. So yeah. All right, on to the next one, guys.
So we got Titans man commenting in here. He said, "How did y'all all meet?" So this is a kind of a easy story to tell. So I put out a post. What would you say, about a month and a half ago? Put out a post on Facebook. I was looking for some additional co-host help on What's Shaking Titans. Because some of our co-hosts had stuff coming up throughout the season, and they weren't going to be able to do it full time. And so I actually got a personal message from Blueface here, reaching out with interest in joining the show. So we had Blueface on, and of course, the rest of that was history. Blueface became a permanent co-host. And then one day, I think it was actually Blueface's second podcast with me, he was over at Massey's house, and low-key, Massey wasn't even supposed to be on the episode that time, and, we were talking beforehand, before the show even happened, and, throughout the show, I kept kind of throwing it to Massey there, and, as a leader, you have to recognize talent. You have to find people. What I look for when I'm looking for people, I want to look for people whose floor is my ceiling, and I definitely seen that coming from both of these two guys. I definitely think that, if I ever had to step away or was absent, I think that these two guys can do, the same job, if not 3 times better than what I can do. So, huge shout out to both of y'all. Definitely appreciate, y'all. But yeah, as soon as we all three met that night, the chemistry struck, we became really good friends. And man, ever since then, the rest is history, definitely. Definitely
been ever since then.
Yeah, ever since then, man, we definitely got that, that chemistry. We got that brotherhood. So it's been an awesome journey, and I'm definitely looking forward to future years to come, and the continued growth between us all, and definitely, man, the future's bright for us here at What's Shaking Titans.
Let's
go. And then to kind of close this out, I'm going to pull up 2 more comments, and then we're going to shoot it into our final segment here, because we all definitely have kids here, so we've already been on for over 3 hours, and we definitely got to do a live game coverage tomorrow. So I'm going to get into these last few comments here. So Titans Cone comes in and says, "Come to think of it, Titans win a Super Bowl. I will shave my eyebrows, streak naked on Broadway yelling 'Tighten up,' cross swords." And then Titans Kong said, "I meant shave my eyebrows." So yeah. And then Titans Man said, "I've seen Blueface guy on TV at games." So yeah, you definitely seen him. He's a Titans super fan, so you'll definitely see him whenever he's attending games for sure. But with all that being said, guys, it's time to go into our final segment.
It's the final countdown. The final countdown.
What's going on, guys? As always, proud to bring you the Blueface final thoughts. Titans in London versus the Ravens. Defense, man. Defense is going to have to step up. They're going to have to play a lot better than we did last week against India if we want to find a win. I know it's technically a home game, but, there's a lot of different fans out there in London. So, it's going to be all scattered around. There's not going to be that home field advantage. So we're going to have to pull together, man, as a collective and as a team. And defense is going to really step up if we want to win this game. Just like, in the past when we beat the Ravens, defense has always had a huge game. But that's the Blueface final thoughts for the week, man. Appreciate it, y'all.
Definitely, man. I appreciate your final thoughts there. And then, guys, before we get out of here, I want to give a quick reminder that tomorrow morning, starting at 7:45 a.m. Central Time, What's Shaking Titans will be live with a live game, post-game coverage of the Tennessee Titans versus Baltimore Ravens in London game. So definitely tune into that if you have no way of watching the game, or even if you do have a way of watching the game, definitely still tune in. Listen to us talk as you're watching the game. It's going to be awesome. Don't forget, this episode of What's Shaking Titans is brought to you by Fanatics and also powered by Bailey's Barbecue. And then, guys, one last quick reminder here. Coming Friday, October 27th, What's Shaking Titans will be moving from Saturdays to Fridays. So Friday, October 27th at 6 p.m. Central Time will officially be on Fridays from there on out. With that being said, guys, if you're watching right now on YouTube and you're not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take this time to hit that subscribe button. Turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video and we'll pop up more often. And then if you're watching us live right now on Facebook, definitely take the time to share us out to all your groups, to all your friends. The more you share us out, the more people will know about us. Sharing is caring. And then, guys, with all that being said, we all got one thing to say here. That's take care and tighten up.
Tighten up, boy. Let's go. Beat them Ravens. Bye-bye, Ratbirds.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.